It's a true Saturday night spectacular for you, a lead into finals. It is perfectly positioned. It's the Adelaide Crows, the comforts of home, sitting on top of the ladder. The Magpies away from the MCG. History says, well, it doesn't matter too much. They have hit a rut in form, have made the running for so much of the season, have Collingwood, but these Adelaide Crows have made their charge seemingly at the perfect time, but they will be tested by a team that has the historical advantage against them. So here we are, Adelaide on top, 4 points clear, can extend that tonight and have their, what they will believe, their rightful position heading into September. Let's welcome two men that know this oval so well. Mark Rasciuto and Eddie Betts, as excited as anyone, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely, Hutto. It's chock-a-block down here. The crowd is getting revved right up. It's a big game, Eddie. We know that. We know how big it is for spots in the top 4, top 2, or even in the top 8. So that's one part of it. But the part I want to talk about is a psychological part of it today. Adelaide have not beaten them for the last 10 times. That plays on the mind a little bit. They're on their home deck. They're in form. They'll be thinking, if we can't beat them tonight and we're going to come up against them in the finals, when can we beat them? So they need to do that. They need to tick off the hoodoo, the bogey team tonight. If they can do that, they'll get an enormous amount of positivity out of that, and they'll know they've improved. And on the flip side, Collingwood, if they can't keep up with them tonight and they do get the job done, Collingwood will be thinking, this side's improved a bit since last time we played them. So there's more than just the 4 points up for grabs.
Yeah, it is. And you speak about the psychological part there. You saw the letter before. There was 5 teams on 60 points in the top 8. So they dropped this one. They might potentially fall out of the 8.
Yeah, they could. Let's talk about the three-headed monster. There they are. There's big Riley Thilthorpe, who's just having a big breakout year up front. He's just really a great target in the forward line. We know what he can do in the ruck as well. Darcy Fogarty, Tex Walker off a spell. Talk to us about the big three.
They're 3 big monsters, they are. And the best thing about these 3, they're competitive. They can compete in the air. They don't get into each other's space, though, Rory. They set up pretty well. It's like a triangle effect. One leads out this, one's in the goal square, one comes back into that space. And so, well, I don't know who goes to them. Like, Darcy Moore down there. So players like that. Frampton, Maynard. Howell's a big out for Collingwood because he was that type that can come out and help them up in the air. So it's going to be a big match-up down there. Thilthorpe is one of the best forwards in the competition at the moment.
All eyes will be on the three-headed monster, Hutto.
They certainly will, and that's just one of the challenges, isn't it, for any team coming up against the Adelaide Crows. We were here a couple of weeks ago, Gary Lyon and Jason Dunstall, and Hawthorn really put it to them, didn't they, in the first quarter, put the first 5 goals up, but then Adelaide worked their way back. And if this game is anything like that, we are in for some thrills and spills tonight. Darcy Moore, an early little win. They win the toss and are going to go to the Riverbank stand. And that night, that was certainly not the scoring end.
No, they couldn't buy one down that end. 5 goals unanswered on that night. And then last night we saw it again. The travelling team, Brisbane, went to Perth and kicked the first 3 goals of the game, Jason. It's so critically important that you start well and try and put some doubt into this side. Anyone else that has come here tonight with the Adelaide over, you go, gee, good luck, because Adelaide have been in great form, but it's common.
I love the point that Mark Rasciuto made. Psychologically, this is a massive opportunity for the Adelaide Crows, because when you haven't beaten the club, as a player, you are acutely aware of that. If they can just get rid of this one, get this monkey off the back, that'll give them great confidence heading into September.
And the fans are well aware of that. There is some nervous Adelaide Crows supporters around the stadium now, apprehensive. A lot of Collingwood fans. We saw them around the city today, getting ready for the action. It has all the hallmarks of September.
So there's your back 6 there, just getting themselves nice and organised. We're going to watch, of course, what happens with Nick Dacos. We're going to watch, of course, with Jordan Dawson. Just Indlebury, at some stage, take responsibility for the man that's in great form.
We saw that midfield group. Dan Houston is also in that group. It might be going to play on the wing.
Well, we went with Quainer, but it looks like they're going to go and push the man that kicks the ball so well up onto the wing, which is not a bad move. He can do some damage kicking that ball inside forward 50.
So the lights are dim for full effect, and they will shine a light on a huge footy stage tonight. There's some superstars that generally thrive in this sporting city. What a setting it is.
Thilthorpe and Frampton down one end. What a job for big Billy Frampton it is. Bring it on, Hutto.
Crows on top of the ladder, perfectly poised for a September return from pole position. The Magpies have history on their side. Centre bounce, and it's Cameron against O'Brien. Dacos protected from it. Berry slams it on the boot. The Crows going forward. Walker returning tonight, being tagged by Moore. There's a deep kick, and Frampton, of course, who is an ex-Crow, back there to take the mark.
Great for his confidence, just to get that first one that comes down. It was a quick kick from Tex Walker. He's got the match up with Darcy Moore. Just threw it on the boot. Frampton first to react. Built his confidence a world of good.
Dawson started out of the centre square, started at a half forward as well.
Morrell getting right up the ground to try and smash it back in there again.
Just settling down. There'll be a few ducks and drakes positionally as they sort themselves out. And Hinge,
yeah.
Nick Dacos.
Keys comes through, jammed it on the boot. He was on a number of Crows. They were quiet last week. Well done by Frampton. Gets away from Philthorpe. He kept him goals when they met in round 10, so that's one thing that will give him some confidence. That kick might not.
Yeah, but even the kick going out doesn't matter because he cleared the 50-metre arc. He's given them time to set up. He's had 2 wins early. Massive.
Well, one of the revelations of the season for Adelaide. Launched to the top of the square. Oh, almost crept out the back to Dawson, who seemed to have a mind more for a Collingwood player rather than the foot.
Maynard went. He's got, well, Dawson at the moment. I don't expect he's going to spend a hell of a lot of time at half forward. He'll eventually work through the middle of the ground, but he did get some latitude early. 2 good wins for Billy Frampton.
Crowd hushed at the moment, like all of us, a little pensive about what we're going to see here tonight.
Guys, Nick Dacos has just wandered forward and now playing as a half forward. He's got Mitch Hinge on him.
Thank you, Roo. His brother comes away with the footy. Murray took front position. He was assertive. Side bottom, stripped of it. Made sure the umpire was aware he was being held by Saliba.
So this will be a big matchup too. He started on the wing on Dan Curtin, and we saw Curtin drift forward with that first couple of forays forward. He has a distinct marking advantage, Curtin, over Steele side bottom.
Place to the area where the Pies like to launch from, and speaking of launching, Mytek, no mark, but gets it to Chris. Almost close enough to score. Sets it up for Shields. It's a clear mismatch in the air. A favoured Warrior.
If he lowered the eyes to go, he pushed into space. Just needed a little 15-metre chip.
Off to Cumming and on to Fogarty. Purpose in the kick, a good distance gain as well. Fogarty can go either side, and he makes sure we know about it. Kicks to half forward, out came Moore. Led it ahead of everybody else. And even though he doesn't mark, he does set Houston up for an early touch. There's his adaptability with the kick to Crisp, and that's what it was in the end. Dacos, as he got better dimensions on the kick to Shields, he knew what to do with the lead, but he's surrounded by Crows.
Gee, a great sign defensively. So Darcy Moore play the game on its merits, left his man, attack the footy, and then the ball coming inside. Aggressive ball movement from the back half.
A couple of opportunities missed. McCreary free inside 50 that time.
O'Brien, there's danger in all of that tap. Harry has 2 goes at it, and his second one is rather forgettable. It's out of bounds on the full.
That's handing your opposition a gift early in the game. It's a nervous start from both sides, actually. Jason's identified a couple that they've missed. Good signs, though, in the back half early for Moore and Frampton particularly.
The crowd are feeling that anxiety as well. Lachie Schultz, 10 goals, 9. He's kicked a goal in each of his last 5. And right now, that would have been just what Collingwood needed, an early goal, but just misses.
The one thing you don't want to do, when you're up against it, you're travelling interstate, take the crowd out early, get off to that good start. Lachie Schultz had kicked that 9 times out of 10.
Collingwood led it every quarter when they met last time earlier in the year. That's a long kick, but well picked off by Perryman. Often that's a quick kick in, you can find a loose, but well guarded by Isaac Cumming.
Yeah, that's Wingman coming in and giving some coverage.
So Craig McRae spoke a lot during the week about system and all those sorts of things, guys. That connection, the kick going inside 50s, let them down early already tonight.
Yeah, 2 parts to it, Jay. So turn it over first of all in your front half, which they did, and then get the next bit right.
Miller's kick along the wing to O'Brien. Moore again, Talling down to go. What sort of impact can he have tonight? Pendlebury, side bottom, on the bounce. An awkward one, Perryman. Plays it wide from McCreary. The South Australian back in the team. Something that they've really missed with his power.
So Cameron's got a mismatch with Miller down the line now.
Cameron does lead hard, but other ideas from McCreary. Short to Pendlebury. More of the same to Dacos. Close enough, so they're outside 5. Elliott is the deepest target. Schultz is also there. So nothing of size. Dacos signalled to Cameron and to Schultz. Elliott, well restrained by Miller. Nothing easy at the moment, is it?
No, it's not. It's and conservative a little bit too. Then I thought that Dacos, just go and back yourself to have something open up.
Everyone a little guarded. Close to the Pies goal. Schultz He did have a crack.
You talked about Dacos going. I thought Adelaide took a risk. That's not the spot where you pull back your 5 metres, because he's on the edge of the square and you're not making him kick over the man on the mark. You're opening things up for him. He could have gone if he wanted to.
Mark Keane, 5 times he played for Collingwood, and that was a lucky escape through Schultz's hands. Kick is good to Keys. A little quieter last week. He's had a stellar season. One of 5 Crows to have kicked more than 30 goals, such as the spread.
He just conceded that.
His kick touched by Dacos. So often he seems to be in the right spot at the right time. Through the middle, can they open them up here? Better be careful, Dawson. Maynard had that hankering to handball to Josh Dacos. Beautiful user, and that's exactly what he does to Chris. And now to Pendlebury, the soft touch. And Schultz seems to be the focus of so much. Not done yet, Membry.
So this is a sign early that they're not going to be predictable down the line here. So at every opportunity, they've been able to come back into the middle of the ground, and it's worked for them really well. So their uncontested marking game, back through the middle, opens it up. And this is a terrific setup here for Membry. So it'd be a great start. They've started well, the Pies.
They have. They've done a lot of the scoring, had a lot of the territory since those opening nervous couple of minutes. Tim Membry kicked singles in each of the last 2 weeks. 28 for the season. This is what they recruited him for. Mark, go back, convert, give the team the start you craved. The Pies are away in Adelaide. Off the boot of Tim Membry.
And that's the start they deserve. I want to go all the way back to half-back wing. There was a crossover in terms of defensive matchups, and it was Billy Frampton on Taylor Walker. He just let him go. Let him go up to the wing, and he peeled back and kicked the extra behind it. Now, as it turns out, the Walker kick got half smothered, so they turned it over, but they had defence behind the ball if they needed it. And then, Gaz, as you said, they're not just going to go long. They want to go quick, they want to go lateral, they want to use the angles.
So Josh Dacos used twice here. First possession of Dacos comes inside the centre square, gets it back again, and then just playing angles here. Much harder to defend when the ball's moving like that. Membry goes back and converts. You want to know why Collingwood have got such a great record here? They take this crowd out early, hit the scoreboard early.
It is an incredible advantage and a confidence boost from those 10 games against a number of teams, of course, because of the gather round and also during COVID. But certainly they've had the Crows as measured. Through that period, you've got to remember that Adelaide have not been a very good team since 2017. So that's definitely part of it.
Don't set up behind me. Do not set up behind me.
Well,
just
you
throw it up.
don't need to say that.
You can be there, you just can't be there when you back out.
Correct.
Stand.
Free kick goes the way of the Pies. And again, they'll be able to dictate turns. Darcy Cameron extended his term with the Pies, of course. Short to Houston.
This is the reason they played him on a wing, Hutto, kicking inside 50.
Familiar in Vines as well, of course. Over 90 games he's played here at the Adelaide Oval. Bangs it up to full forward. Worrell knocks it away. Dacos gets knocked away. Lipinski, Membry trying to find Nick.
They are, mate. They're not predictable, their targets going forward. Lockie Schultz been targeted a couple of times. It's not just Membry and Mycheck and McStay. They will pick off the most dangerous.
It's going through the numbers. Gray watching on. Pull a goal out of here.
This way again, guys. This way. Dan and Riley. Hands off! This way again.
Plenty of talk amongst the players and the umpires. Over the top, O'Brien into the space. Well directed to Cumming. Up along the wing. Hillthorpe versus Frampton. And there's a little boost to the beast. Riley Hillthorpe. The look on the face of the coach was priceless last week when they thought he had a shoulder injury. Thankfully he didn't, but he's turned that kick over. And they swing it to Dacos. Has space. Vision of what's ahead. Elliott was his focus and was in his mind. Keane again is about to be tackled by McStay, who's trying to get it below the knees. No dice, quick kick, Worrell just over Smith's head, but Dawson gets dragged down.
So they've been messy, Adelaide.
Yep.
They've been messy coming out of their back half, been turning the footy over regularly here.
Well, this is a team that hasn't played finals in the last 7 seasons. Thought they were going to, of course, 2 years ago, that fateful night against the Swans.
Outside 5.
And then it all fell apart last year. What a renaissance this year. Canny recruiting. And the build started to come to fruition. Keane bouncing, wondering. He's trying to kick very long to Walker.
He had 3 options, all of them regulation. He chose the 4th one, which was the toughest and required a 60-metre dart. Sometimes you've just got to take what's on offer.
That is him a little bit, though, isn't it?
But particularly early when the heat's on.
And it would appear that Collingwood let him do the kicking. So it's almost back off, let him be the one that's distributing out of the back half, and then get to work at cutting it off.
Conditions fine now, but the wild card is the storm that could be on the way. Hitches the ball forward. Murphy returned to the team. Ultimate role player. The Adelaide Crows. Keys. Peatling. Got there in a hurry to the square. Philthorpe behind. Curtin. Philthorpe again. Flukiness of the bounce. It served Curtin well. Fed it through to Smith. The popular veteran just misses away to the right.
It's a weapon to have, Curtin, at 198 centimetres.
And he's going to keep drifting forward. He'll take side bottom down there all the time.
Smith, the perfect replacement, isn't he, for the suspended Laird for tonight. He's great, mate. Would love to be out there. He missed the 2017 grand final with injury. Only just one final that year. Up to the wing, knocked away O'Brien. They'll pull him tackling against young Parker in for his 3rd game of the season. Over 700 games experience went out tonight from Collingwood. 3 players. Instead of having 20 who played 100 or more, it's back to 17 tonight. Plenty of know-how out there, though, with this man's side bottom. His 350 celebrated last week. What an audacious kick it proves to be.
A torpedo pass across the corridor.
Schultz, a little more regulation down the line to Membry. It's a pretty open forward line at the moment. The numbers are relatively even.
Coming back, trying to come back inside again.
Quainer.
Not 15.
Dacos, not 15. Won't be flustered by that. His 4th disposal. Crowd trying to get in his head. Stay against 4 Crows to go. Can't get a run at the first. Stays in the frame. Milborn and Hinge go to work. Plenty of industry around the footy. So many numbers. Hard to break clear. That's pretty much what we've seen so far.
There's been no great polish or highlight in this early in the piece. They've had opportunities, missed targets.
2 tight teams, it feels like, and the tension that goes with this time of the year. Peatling's handball. Pinched back by De Goey. Just plonks it in the pocket. And Elliott, who loves this grounds, and now he loves it even more, kicks Collingwood 2nd.
It's an outstanding start. This is an outstanding start. There's nothing pretty about the game early. That's fine. That's pressure. So, but Collingwood have been inside 50 10 times to 4 here. Murray-Elliott matchup here. That's not the matchup you want. Get the ball forward. He's ball watching there.
Ball watching, guys. You're right.
Over the back. And Elliott's just quick and nimble. Been down a little bit. Jamie Elliott in recent times hits the scoreboard. Really good start for the Pies here.
49th goal of the season for Jamie Elliott. He once kicked 6 here back in 2021. He's old enough to have made his debut in Adelaide at Football Park.
Yeah, so he just got caught in transition. So not his man, Murray. That's not the matchup, but
still got to keep him between you and the ball, haven't you?
Elliott's man is Hugh Bond, back in the middle. They'll try and get out through Saligo, but failed due to the diligence of Long. Now they're at it again. Neil Pullen knew exactly where the captain was. Time for the Crows to lift. Floats it forward. Dawson's kick. Well done from Maynard. He's such a versatile defender. Look at that love. We saw it last night with Brisbane.
They've got a scrappers mentality. They've brought a scrappers mentality here. So it's willing, it's combative, as you'd expect it to be, with everything on the line. And the Adelaide Crows now know that they're back in familiar territory. A Collingwood side that's come with a plan.
Maynard has Fogarty. That's a kick ahead of this.
Dawson,
Free kick to Dawson.
And how often is this bloke to go at one that says, righto, we need to get moving here?
Well, there is plenty of movement inside the arc. He's almost close enough. He does launch. Fogarty gets a leap and brings it down.
Wow.
That's the response. That is the lift that Adelaide needed. And it's Darcy Fogarty.
So we just spoke about that matchup on Braden Maynard. He did so well up on the flank. He bullocked and he pushed past him to get that spoil and knock the ball out of bounds. But in the air, that's where going to be an advantage. Exactly right. With a 50-metre penalty as well.
That's going to make sure of the whole thing. So the Adelaide Crows will get on the board by Darcy Fogarty. He's kicked 9 goals, 10 across his last 9 games, which is unusual for someone so accurate. There's been a nervous crowd so far. They can let a little bit of that out now.
Yeah, so they needed someone to get their hands on the footy and be a bit, use the ball with some authority because they kept turning the footy over. And it's Jordan Dawson. I mean, he's just had the 4 touches. He started at half forward with Maynard, but he now just takes control. And this is unaided, the jump. He doesn't jump into the back. He gets a little lift, doesn't he?
I reckon he's not stuffing out of himself too. He's landed. Oh,
terrific.
So hard.
That is a clever little push. What's that from Taylor Walker?
It's a beast of a man.
The text push on Maynard.
Yeah, well, that's the sort of thing you've got to be really careful with. It was subtle enough there not to...
Just land on it. Just land on it.
McCreary's gone into the middle, guys.
Thank you, Roo. Great sight. Darcy Fogarty in full flight. Hillthorpe into the ruck against McStay. Peatling, Pendlebury. Pies to half forward. Just got away from Smith, but he's at it again. Scoops it up nicely. Shows them a clean pair of heels, but did sell Soligo into trouble. Strong enough and tough enough to work his way through. Taylor back to Soligo, but the kick was straight to Houston.
Yeah, they've done that many times. Coming out of the back half, continue to turn the ball over. Must pay the price.
Play on.
Pendlebury. DeGoey and Smith. He puts his body on the line, and it looked like DeGoey was going to have a free rein.
It's a big intercept because DeGoey was in space on his own. Pendlebury spotted it. Smith good enough to go and intercept.
I reckon the Adelaide back half's held up really well, Jace, early in terms of where this ball's been turned over in the first 10 minutes and haven't paid the ultimate price.
On down the line, contest in the air. Now Pendlebury had the strength to work through. Plainer opening up for Pete. Oh, there's a little bit of tagging going on. And it's Jack Chris footy. A bit slower in his output over the last month or so. Wants the kick wide. McStay. There's Neil Bullen. So who's feeling better about things now that Adelaide have a goal on the board? Still the Magpies?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. 11-5 inside 50s. We spoke to Craig McRae pre-game. He said we've got to get some territory here. They're getting it.
Lots of
that tells you right there. Yep. There's your answer. Coach's box over his shoulder.
You certainly don't look at the coach's face, do you, for an indication. Hillthorpe Long bursting through. Bit of a point to prove for Long. Elliott, a hard man to contain. Bond does well. Coming plays it back. Worrell crashes that left foot away. 2 pies look most likely. Chris brings it down. Couldn't get it on the boot quick enough. And you can see why, because Ned Long.
Well, this is what they needed to do, but he's going to go again here.
He is.
And it's a good choice. It's Dan Houston because they've been inside 50 13 times. And as I said, they stood up pretty well. They're down by 6 points. The connection piece for Collingwood hasn't been where they would need it to be. They'd be thrilled with the way they've turned the footy over. They just haven't made it pay on the scoreboard.
It's been a difficult year in his first season with Collingwood, their prize recruit. He has kicked 5 goals, 3 this season. 3 of them were from outside 50. Adelaide fans are used to booing him. They've done it in showdowns for years. And they won't be happy as he silences them as a pie.
Well, great to see Dan Houston getting involved for the Pies, but the pressure has been great. So what it's resulted in are some pretty poor exits. This is Worrell under pressure, just kicking, turning it over, not having the time to make a better decision. They're unable to find some easy outlet kicks. And then it's just a matter of who wanted to take responsibility for kicking the goal. Well, Dan Houston says, I'm more than happy. I'm playing on the wing. I can push forward. I'm a good kick and I'll back myself. That's what he wants to do.
It's a great sign. I mean, he could still play. We know he's had a really disappointing year and they would expect it much more. But when the coach pulls the lever, which he has, then you go, what sort of a response am I going to get? He's hit the scoreboard. He's been involved in passage of play. They've had a really good start to this game here. If they start to execute better, scoreboard will reflect it.
Pendlebury's been in plenty of it. Soligo overwhelmed by the numbers and by Dacos. Out to half forward. Had to wait for the fickleness of the bounce of the ball. Smith's been busy on his return across half-back.
Craig McRae spoke to us about pressure. You mentioned Bo McCreary and he said, well, I don't just want it to be Bo McCreary. I want it to be everyone. It's 10 tackles to 5, so double the amount of tackles early in the game here.
Cameron got the jump, but O'Brien got the tap. Hinge tried to break clear and he does get away. from Dacos and De Goey. He's well recognised by Quainer, was falling short, and he's off before you know it. It's centre-half forward. Schultz gets bowled over. Miller, they are being overworked, this Adelaide defence. Can they turn it into something attacking? Just the man, Dawson. Plays it right to Rankin. Fogarty is one offer. He's looking for something better, something deeper, something to test out the Magpies' defence. Speculative ball, though it was. Dacos on guard, on duty to Quainer.
Will Parker just worked him under the footy there. He could have given it. He knew he was outside. He did a good job. Got away with it.
Mycheck and a couple of running mates. Pendlebury stops. And so does the world, it seems, when he has the footy. Handballs along to Schultz. And it gets around.
He was wanting to come back inside again, James, which has been their MO a bit. Get around the centre wing and then look inside. He stood. Just didn't quite open up for him.
That was Isaac Rankin's first touch for the game too, just before.
That's not ideal from an Adelaide point of view, obviously. We've seen him get into games, though, haven't we? That's probably where he has matured, when he's had quiet quarters and he can turn it on quickly. So they'll remain wary. This man is still an unbelievable contributor. Pendlebury to McCreary. Again, there's some openings in the forward 50. He just pushes back to try and protect, but McCreary goes long.
That sums this quarter up, Hutto. Again, you get a great look inside forward 50 with a open 50 metre and you float a pass, it gets turned over.
So Rankin getting up the ground to get involved again. Calculated kick. Again towards Dawson, who was the early leaper. Doesn't stay in the contest, though. Cameron stripped of it. Crowd wanted some reward for their effort. Smith telling handball. Through to Fogarty. In a ball and it bounces back. So does Dacos, but the ball is over and out.
Seen a couple of extraordinary passes already in this game. We saw a square up, a 50-metre talk from sidebomb. Then we saw a tumble punt from Pendlebury that found McCreary.
I think Sidey meant his. I'm not sure Pendlebury wanted to float that one forward.
Adelaide of late just 6 tackles. Now the pressure kings, but not so far. There's a way to put the roof into it from O'Brien.
It's good intent. That's understanding exactly what you're talking about and doing something about it, Riley O'Brien. Just tackle with a little bit more vigour.
Got 15, play on!
Dacos' kick was short but meaningful. Pendlebury hacked out of the air from De Goey. In front again is Membry.
So Scott Pendlebury is just ripping it to shreds through the middle of the ground. He's just going at his own pace, Hutto. This whole game sort of buzzing around him as he has done for
He lives life, that it seems, that
50 years. He's had 9 possessions. Leading possession winner on the ground by 3. And this is symptomatic. They have to connect through a hack out of mid-air.
Tim Membry, who'll play his 200th game next week. These are big moments in what's been a long footy journey. He's already gone back once, kicked the opening goal. Just needs to repeat the dose. Not necessarily easy, but for Tim Membry, it is. And for Collingwood, big headaches for that man.
Yeah, we spoke about Pendlebury in the build-up. He's been fantastic, but good forward craft also from Tim Membry. Josh Worrell wanted to sit off him. He wanted to just jockey a little bit for position and try and read where the ball was going to go. Well, that quick kick inevitably falls forward, and he's on the spot. You can just see them there, just inside the 50-metre arc at centre-half forward. Worrell's sitting off him a bit. He's sitting off because he wants to be able to peel back and take that intercept should the long kick come in, but that's where you get beaten on the short kick.
So what a start. You come here, hostile territory, 4 goals to 1. Your oldest player on your list is leading the charge. The setup that we just saw then in this forward, just keeping space as well. And then any kick that doesn't go to a predictable area gives the forward the opportunity to react first. Great start for the Pies.
Beautiful bounce in the middle. O'Brien looking for connection, but again they're beaten to the punch. And he can escape out of the middle, Nick Dacos. To Pendlebury again. And then back to Quainer. Stand start, deep kick, in front Mycheck. Defended better that time, Lipinski. And O'Brien continued the scrap.
We bounced around where the Pendlebury goes to Dawson just to try and keep him accountable. Now they've got to start thinking about Scott Pendlebury.
16-6, the inside 50s.
O'Brien. Lipinski hurls it out. Elliott protected by Dawson and Neil Bullen. Moore. Kick going to Collingwood to Lane.
Again, front half turnover or front half intercept, whatever you want to call it. Ball's going to come back again through Braden Maynard.
Gee, almost could have been 50 there. Handed it to the wrong player.
Well, that is right. Anthony, 100% right.
Maybe he's judging that he couldn't hear him. Maynard again, high ball, backing back Cameron, over the top Murray, emphatic with the spoil. Up and down on the spot goes Houston. Smith all around it. Lipinski the cleanest. Peatling, though, shut him down. Neil Bullen kicks to a 2-on-1 in favour of Adelaide, but it got through their fingers, and plenty is slipping through. Big Billy Frampton's made a good start so far, and those around. Houston is covered, cornered, crossed into the ground. And it's going to be a ball up home. Collingwood by 18 points. Fogarty, the lone goal kicker for Adelaide. Scant chances up forward. Wilson tried, but it's not enough for the Crows at the moment.
The territory now is getting out of hand. They've taken 5 uncontested marks in their forward 50 as well from those 17 entries, Chase. And now the seasonal thing's starting to unfold here.
Smith walks away. Down on the second one. Baker goes for the torpedo again. The oddities almost paid off. Got through the cracks. Taylor and Keane pinned down by McCreary.
It's almost like there is an edict from Craig McRae to kick it any way but normal inside 50. They can go for any sort of kick they like. Torpedoes, angle kicks along the ground. They don't care as long as it's not predictable.
Bit of chaos, Jace, isn't it?
Yep.
Adelaide Crows are shell-shocked.
So we've called for that many times when you're playing against a good intercepting team. Just don't go to the obvious place.
Well, they're doing anything but.
The defenders defend obvious ball movement really well. When it's not obvious, forwards get the advantage.
Took a couple of goes at it. Miller over the top, McCreary. 15 tackles in his last game against Fremantle. Matthew Nix looking for answers. Made 4 changes, the Crows. Taylor Walker was the main inclusion. Laid out suspended. Side bottom comes through. Taylor, the praises of the coach last week. Fogarty, and again, it's just a bit of ground game, but it's going to be returned.
See, that's harsh. He had to kick under the attempted smother. He had no options.
They don't agree.
No.
Perryman, lofted ball into the pocket. Again, this Adelaide defence should be being paid double at the moment.
And that's the other thing we need to mention. It's not just the different types of kicks going inside 50. The Collingwood forwards, whoever's in the space, they're competing brilliantly in the air and on the ground.
13 times they've left their D50, haven't gone the whole way once.
Can they change that? Got to get their hands on it first. Crisp, fine tackle from Dawson. McCreary almost held without it, not quite. And is he hatched it there?
In fact, 16 times from the back half they've exited, Jace. They've been inside 50 on one occasion, the Adelaide Crows. It's an outstanding result for Collingwood.
Crows have been an excellent first quarter team through the season, but not tonight. 2 minutes to go. And firstly, South Collingwood not leak any more goals.
Well, that's the other problem. They've dragged so many players back. There's 2 extra Collingwood players behind the footy.
Multiple leads. He chooses his great mate, Scott Pendlebury. He tries to do the same. Crows are a bit more wary and ready for it that time. Peatling shows a bit of dash and a bit of flair.
They don't know what to kick to. That's the problem.
Probably not the worst kick, given the flukiness of the bounce. Could favour either team. Plainer maybe wanted a little bit more than anyone else. Houston's turn to craft the kick. Pulls it back to McStay. Not far off. Picked it up. And out of nowhere, almost kicks a goal. Instead, he kicks it into the second tier.
It just can't be more complimentary of what they're doing in their front half of the ground here, Collingwood. This is a team that can go the length with their kickers and their hard runners. They just cannot get out of their defensive half.
And that inside 50 count now, Gaz, 21-6.
Well, you take 19 points. I mean, that's flattering.
That's as close as they could possibly be.
Will they get a little closer? Isaac Cumming. The ex-Giant has finals experience.
It's a decent shoving there.
Yeah, paid the mark though. One of a handful of Crows that does have that finals experience behind them. Maynard blaster half forward. Miller that's across, gets it out.
The Pendlebury leads all comers with 11. Nick Dacos on 8. Isaac Cumming the best for the Crows with 7 possessions.
Last 45 seconds. Tap from Cameron. Lipinski straight into the rank and tackle. He uses his leg to make sure he's restrained properly. Buckle up. If your Knicks can't get to them quick enough all the time. Cameron up and down the mark. Can't play your own mark with your own kick. Dacos hands it off to Lipinski.
So one of the issues when you cannot get territory, their strength is in their front half. Riley Thilthorpe hasn't seen the ball.
No.
He's had one touch. Taylor Walker can't get near it because the ball's not in their area.
But the problem is, guys, they've sucked so many Crows players back into the defensive 50. There's no one to kick to when they come out under pressure.
He pulled the kick a fraction. Frampton was able to read the cues.
So it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. We're trying to stop the leaks down back, but every time we kick it out, it's coming straight back with interest.
17 now. So now 20 exits for one inside 50.
But the last 9, as you can see in the last 10 minutes, Matthew Nicks obviously has never beaten Collingwood 6-0 against Craig McRae. Brian came around the side through Peatling's legs. Chris flicks it up to Dacos. It'd be a killer blow late in the quarter. Off the hands, played on its merits, Wellbond. Back through Hinch to Miller to the wing. Disruptive as O'Brien.
Well, that could be 50. It is. That's a disaster.
Wow.
On the siren.
So the time is gone and they do it again. They get another shot at goal in the manner that they've dominated this first quarter, and that is just refusing to allow Adelaide to get out of their own back half. It's been a masterclass.
Well, we're just about to say 4 goals to 1 to get out of jail, given how much territory they have. But 5 to 1, we've got a lot of work ahead of them.
Kick the goal. It's so critically important to kick the goal here. He's loving life right now. You might keep an eye on him throughout the night.
It's a dangerous seat where he is. He's going to munch them all.
Huge. Watch him get around him if he kicks this, Jace. They've generated the right amount of energy on the road. This will be massive.
Solidified his future with the Magpies during the week. Been a revelation in the ruck, Darcy Cameron, to fully capitalise on a quarter of dominance on the road in Adelaide. Darcy Cameron says yes, and Magpie fans around Australia are on their feet, or they're whistling Dixie in the crowd. It's the Pies by 25. 3 big quarters of football to go.
Quarter times.
All right, there we go, folks. Quarter time, just what we were hoping for. Of course, the Magpies getting out to 5-3. 33, they're absolutely dominating this game. Adelaide 1-2-8. Full 25 points the margin at quarter time. And, of course, 25 points, I think Adelaide would be pretty well happy with that. They were just dominated for the full quarter. The Collingwood of old have certainly come to play in this game today over there at Adelaide Oval. Of course, Addy G, Tingney, all going for the Magpies. John's going for the Magpies. Stormy, good luck with the Crows. Levi, everyone else. But, yeah, look, being Collingwood supporter, we've got to be pretty happy about the opening term. And, of course, shooting for 11 straight wins over the Crows is on the cards at the moment. But make no mistake, Adelaide are a good scene. They'll come back. Can the Pies continue this for the 4 quarters? That's the question everyone's got on their lips. But I tell you what, at the moment, it's great signs. I was just thinking to myself, folks, I don't know if you're thinking this too. Is this a semi preview of the grand final? Will it be Adelaide Collingwood in the grand final? I'll tell you what, the way the Magpies are playing tonight, they're certainly back in town in a big, big way. All right, let's just switch over and have a look at the live ladder for all the folks in the chat. The live ladder there with Collingwood in front. That means they go equal top of the ladder with the Adelaide Crows on 64 points. Of course, Adelaide will remain there because of that mega percentage of 139.8. The only reason why the Crows could lose top spot is if Collingwood win and Geelong win tomorrow. So there we go. But that is the live ladder as it stands. Happy Collingwood supporters back up near the top where they belong. All right, let's just have a little bit of a look. Hey, just at the ins and outs for the teams before we go any further. Didn't get to go with those, but for Adelaide, Brodie Smith comes in. Taylor Walker Well, I didn't even see Tex, the Taylor Walker, in that first quarter. There we go. Harry Schuenberg and Lachlan Murphy coming in for the Crows. Rory Laird, Chris Burgess, Chase Jones, Luke Pedler going out. And for the Maggies, Will Parker, Bo McCreary adding a good bit of pace in there for the Magpies. Edward Allen also coming in. Tom Mitchell going out with Jeremy Howe, of course, after being badly knocked out last week. Will Hoskin Elliott, there are your team. Eddie G, what's that? Go Pies, second. Cheers, Eddie, for cheering for the Pies. You know, it's my team and Tine's team. Santa all. All right, hey, that's enough of the lineup. Let me just have a quick look at some of the players' stats. Let me just reload that up and I'll quickly show you the top goal scorers and the top possession getters in the opening term. Tim Membry leads the way with 2 goals for the Magpies. Dan Houston, Jamie Elliott, Darcy Cameron, singles, and of course for Adelaide, Darcy Fogarty, the only goal scorer over there for the Crows. Ball magnet, Scotty Pendlebury carving up the grass out there on 11. The General doing his thing. Nick Dacos back up the top of the charts on 10. 4 clearances already for the champ. Good stuff. Jack Crisp on 7. Isaac Cumming, best for Adelaide, on 7. There we go. Saligo and Brodie Smith on 6 apiece. There we go. They are your top possession getters at the moment. There we go. All right, let's head back down to the action. And we'll let the commentators take us into the bounce of the ball, not too far away, in what is going to be a fantastic game this evening. Adelaide taking on Collingwood, but it's the Pies by 25 at quarter time. Go Pies.
Quickly to get the troops together at that break. Let's head down to Mark Rasciuto alongside Eddie.
Yeah, he's certainly pretty calm at quarter time, but he wouldn't be feeling very comfortable with that first quarter. Collingwood, they were just brilliant. They had their second worst performance last year for pressure against Hawthorn. Tonight, they have been absolutely fantastic in their forward line. When Adelaide get the ball, they are under enormous pressure trying to get the ball out of there. They have not gone from their back 50 to their forward 50 once tonight so far. You can see the hack kick there from Josh Worrell. That is what happens when you put pressure on there. And they've just been under pressure with just about every kick. Even Isaac Rankin trying to do that. What have you seen, Ed?
It's their forward 50 pressure, just like you said. Last week they had 3 for the whole game, Rui. In that quarter they had 10. And like you said, it's perceived pressure. So every time the ball goes inside that 450, Collingwood add them.
Yeah, I don't think anyone should be surprised that Collingwood have had a great first quarter tonight.
Take you back to August the 3rd, Hawthorn versus Adelaide, 5 goals to 1. Hawks the first quarter, they led by 26 points at quarter time. Here we are, 5 goals to 1. They lead by 25 points at quarter time, the Collingwood Footy Club. They have recovered this position before, Adelaide. Might be a different prospect tonight.
An indication of their intent immediately. Centre bounce, a little off centre. Ruckman compared to Goey. Edges it forward. Dacos got a bit of momentum up. Kept on going. You can see the lunge as he lost his footing. Peatling's touch was deft but important. Saligo had support, needed it. Worrell off balance. Feeding the handball to Hinge. His fellow lefty. And another Dawson. More profound with the depth on the kick. Kilthorpe out of position. The fumble from Frampton. Maynard put the head down and put the Sharon to Billy Frampton, who is playing inspired football already. That kick lands with Smith, who's tempted, keen to run off, but the umpire says he has to come back.
So straight away, different look. So they do get the ball from one end of the ground to the other. For the first time, Jordan Dawson didn't push deep in defence and stayed in the middle of the ground, and he was the connector on this instance.
Second quarters have been their thing this year at the Adelaide Crows. It wasn't last week, they were goalless on the road. There was a lot that was unusual about last week, though. Perfect. Fogarty made the lead. There was no margin for error on the kick.
You look at Jordan McGoey standing there. You see Houston standing there. Just a lapse of concentration. Didn't fill the hole.
Guys, I just had a look at the radar. There is a bit of rain coming, so this lead is effectively even bigger to get the score on before the rain comes.
He's their lone goal kicker tonight. That was a much easier shot, obviously, with a 50 early on. 37 goals became 38 for the season. He's got to get back to being one of the best in the business because Adelaide can't afford to miss. The early settler comes from Darcy Fogarty.
Yeah, and as we said, if the rain comes, you better start eroding this margin early now. The key was first quarter. It was 24-6, the inside 50s against. They had no territory. Lucky to be within 4 goals. They get the first 2 inside 50s of this quarter, and now they're able to hit the target.
Jace, when they gave up those 5 goals against Hawthorn, they then went and kicked the next 8 in a row, if you don't mind. Dan Houston won't like that. Dan Houston standing out there guarding a pocket of grass that, if he was going to lead to the pocket, he had him covered. And here comes the rain that Rue's been talking about. So a great start. They've been here before, as we said, gave up 5-1 against Hawthorn, kicked the first and the second.
And again, the bounce not perfect. O'Brien tries to use that little advantage he had to Dawson. Dacos stayed with him, but the captain prevails. Still under pressure with the handball, and so is Rankin. Has to make do. And out of bounds is the end result. They turn to the umpire, and he's on the same page. Frito Isaac coming. So a different look at a different feel with the goal and a bit more possession.
Dawson's a one again. He's a super player. He's a Brownlow medal hot pick for a reason.
Lowish ball and plucked off pretty comfortably by Cameron. That is his stock and trade.
It's a great intercept mark, particularly with a little bit of rain starting to fall. Things are going to get greasy.
10-5 intercept marks to the Magpies.
He almost stepped into the protected zone. Walker got the call that he could close a little. Frampton playing confidently tonight, but O'Brien impossible to get around.
Bit of indecision, bit of pressure from the Crows.
Handballed off to Dawson, then promptly got in his road. He is a ruckman. Worrell. That's a sky ball. Can anyone lift? Out came the big fella Thilthorpe, knocked a few over in his path. Maynard to side bottom, under pressure Parker. Dawson tries to hurdle his way through.
A different look, different feel, just holding now in their own half. Repeat entries, forwards all of a sudden are getting a look at it.
And the first couple of times Collingwood win the ball down back. No easy exit for them.
Thilthorpe wanders back to the goal square. O'Brien trying to get it his way. Cameron from ground level to Goey. Long. Peatling's a hard man to get away from. To Goey still in the corner. That's a little better along the line. Keen in the push and shove. McStay didn't care who he took down. And he did take a couple down. Beautiful delivery. And the mark is taken by Taylor Walker.
It's almost like the mirror image of what we saw in the first term. Ball living down this end. Quick kicks come out under pressure, straight back in.
This bloke deserves a pat on the back here.
Yeah.
Mark Keane just went back with a flight, did not flinch. So they'll just take a second, will they? They're going to let him kick. So Taylor Walker now take the opportunity. Cameron kicks the big crunch goal on the siren. This is big again.
Well, the fair is half for Adelaide, isn't it? This man who led them into the 2017 grand final can be part of a run again in September. His 300th game is coming up in the finals, and he kicks a goal as well. And everything has changed at the Adelaide Oval.
What I love about that, the enthusiasm of Tex Walker. So he goes straight to Mitch Hinge to kick the ball to him. Then he runs straight to Mark Keane because of this effort, going back and putting himself right in the middle of the action, getting poleaxed, but forcing the turnover. And that helped create the opportunity for Hinch to hit him with the pass.
And what Adelaide are doing is they're making every inside 50 a winner at the moment. So we saw how dominant Collingwood were early in this game. Didn't connect as well. They've got inside 5 times in this second quarter and kicked 2 goals straight. Yep. And they're just starting to connect and look a bit dangerous. How talented are they in their front half, Jace? They just didn't get a look in the first quarter.
5 inside 50s to nothing this quarter.
So 2 heads of the 3-headed monster have goals already. 2 to Fogarty, 1 to Walker. Out of the middle, it's Collingwood though with De Goey. And the kick looks excellent to the hard lead from McStay. Murray stays with him all the way. Tackles all laid. Commitment shown again. De Goey. Peatley tries to pull it out of there. Elliott. And request for free kicks go unanswered. First 2 goals of the second quarter to the Adelaide Crows. They've only lost 3 for the year. These second turns. O'Brien tries to force feed it down. More hardcore footy, 40 metres out from Collingwood's goal.
And Collingwood would be acutely aware of their ability to kick goals in a hurry and put in chains of goals. So to hit one back here against the flow would be a win.
Excellent from O'Brien to coming and on to Fogarty.
He's been huge for him. Just a step ahead, reads the ball off the boot so well.
He can play this connector role too, can't he?
He's a beautiful kick the ball.
Trouble is, he's got Darcy Cameron long up the line trying to avoid him, and he's gone straight to him.
Straight to him. Well done, Rankin, though. Snatches it to the inside to Keys. One more to Peatling. They've got a couple goal side. Neil Bullen got all the way through in the spin. Again to Walker. One more is all he needed. He heard the curtain call, and the Crows have kicked 3 in a row.
This is eerily familiar. Go back to that game against Hawthorn where they trailed, I repeat, 5 goals to 1 they gave up, trailed by 26. Go 5 goals to 1 tonight, trailed by 25. They then kicked 8 in a row. Well, they kicked 3 in a row.
It wasn't the right kick from Fogarty either. We spoke about Darcy Cameron long up the line. He kicked it straight to him, but then Rankin did maybe enough just to get the ball to ground. Then they forced it forward. Well done.
It's a potent attacking force. We know that. They score and they score at will. Number 3 in the comp for points. When they get on a roll, they get on a roll. So Collingwood, high alert right now. Got to hold the momentum.
And Allen is the sub tonight. Up and down in the middle. O'Brien, Berry, Pendlebury can't pull it out of there, but he's given it to McStay. So the ruckman turns and kicks it deep for Jamie Elliott. Just wrapped his hands around it, but it fell out to Keane. It's coming back at a rush side bottom. Looking for the most compelling case inside 50. It's the Magpies' turn and their need to get a bit of footy. O'Brien has made it extra hard. Leaper was Myercheck. Elliott can't step through. Bond, who has the inevitable job of keeping tabs on the experienced Jamie Elliott.
See, Nick Dacos had a couple of conversations with Phil Sidebottom about not being used with the short pass. Put the arms up and had a couple of goes at him.
O'Brien, Peatling, Worrell, a foot only. Tackle Elliott, McCreary. So a bit of time in the front half for Collingwood.
Can you hear the umpires talking about players who they're just keeping an eye on, as long as names been mentioned?
Peatling gets in front of Dacos. Instead it's Chris. And it's coming. Dropping into the right spots regularly in this game so far.
Good sign, Hutto. Remember we went back that Hawthorn game and there was no panic, and Rue said again at quarter time, no panic, pretty calm in the lessons and the instruction, and they've responded well, Adelaide.
I'll just wait for a little later for the panic button to be hit perhaps. Neil Bullen tries to tidy up the drop mark. Curtin uses the boundary to good effect.
History says they haven't in recent times panicked.
No.
They just got confidence and absorbed some pressure. They absorbed a lot of heat from Collingwood early, and they've responded.
What a sight it is from any vantage point around the Adelaide Oval. Glorious shots. We know the weather could be a factor through the night. McStay, Pendlebury, hard to get a run of the footy. It's getting a little greasy. Pinchos are out now. Scoreboard looks a lot better for the locals. Numbers around the ball, so hard for Saligo to bust through. Umpire says play on. Curtin couldn't sneak a kick away. Let's see how Schultz goes. Murphy was onto it, herring after it. Peatling, back to Millerer. Can he launch? Turned his body at just the right moment and gave it just the right amount to Neil Bullen. To Cumming, awkward bounce, brilliant run. Saw off McCreary, no easy task. Runs into Moore and Maynard and Josh Dacos. So the Pies trying to put their foot down. Trying to stave off the Crows for now. Hinds, though, can go again, but that's not what he had planned.
And Josh Dacos hasn't had the impact that he has normally had. He's a prolific ball winner off half-back. He had the 6 touches now. He just had a kick earlier.
Gary, I reckon Lockie Murphy might be sitting very close to him. I'll just keep an eye on him. He might be playing a little bit of a defensive role on Josh Dacos.
O'Brien against McStay. There's Long, there's Crisp. Nothing easy with any possession gained at this stage. Schultz, low centre of gravity, but he kicks to an out number.
They had the extra. It's a little bit like the first quarter when the Crows got sucked up trying to withstand all the forward 50s that Collingwood are having. It allowed Collingwood spares behind the ball. This time it's Adelaide with that extra behind the footy. Oh, that's a horrible
Terrible kick from Keane. Straight to Myercheck. A bit to defend now for his defensive mates. This is Houston. Seeming reluctant to kick it too quickly.
Well, they got one-on-ones ahead of the ball if they want to go.
There's Elliott and there's Membry. And nicely identified. It was Schultz just minding his own business.
Mark Keane has had a strange night.
10 metres.
So Nick Dagos wandered across and he's been shoved out. He's had 7 kicks. He's kicking at 43%, Jace. Everything else he does has been outstanding.
He likes to bite a bit off, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think they let him kick it too, Collingwood. I think they identify it and say, well, you can kick.
He's found one of their pressure barometers. He's had a couple of shots tonight. This one falls short. McStay, O'Brien with the same intent. Can they stop Dacos? Easier said than done. It took 3. There's the handball. McCreary, top of the square. Membry looking for a third. Disrupted play. Got a lot of soldiers on the last line. And one of them is Hinge, steadying influence. And a beautiful, fluent kick, but unfortunately no target. It's Frampton instead. Former Crow and Port Adelaide, so the West Australian who now lives in Melbourne, who's played for both clubs in South Australia. Back to Moore and across to Quainer. Lead has been cut to 7. Start of this second term. Almost reached the midpoint. Perryman. Myercheck shuffles in. Miller over the top. Didn't kill the contest. It's alive for Myercheck. Or for Alias. Tackled from 2 different angles.
Got away with one there. Miller read the ball beautifully. Flight decided to have a crack at it and dropped it. Went through his hands.
Guys out here.
Oh, very talkative, aren't they, tonight? O'Brien smashes it away. Dacos was there for long, but instead he went back to McCreary.
Come on, guys. Let's go. Here, mate. Head this way.
He's trying to pound the sugar in. Watchful eye. His team has responded in this second term so far.
Hey, back it in here, okay?
There's a lot of players around the stoppage and everyone's been careful not to give away free kicks when the ball's at ground level.
Adelaide with an extra back in the goal square. O'Brien connects with Miller. Berry got through the initial tackle and leaves it behind. Elliott.
And in games like this, which aren't, beautiful to look at, he's just got to be prepared to live in the trenches. He's just got to be prepared to live in this style of footy for longer than your opposition.
O'Brien, what about going himself with the boot? By hand, probably better. Keys in the Magpies, well positioned. Perryman wore a bit. Saligo thought he could escape, couldn't leg it, so by hand back to Keys. And Peatling jumping and sending it wide to the stylish Miller. And they've got to half forward, awful Taylor. Murphy thinking about what he could do next.
He didn't realise that he'd been called play on. He did not hear the decision. So that's why he's having all sorts of problems with it. He feels hardly done by.
There's no doubt that he's got the job on Josh Dacos and just finding a little bit of space. He's coming up and putting really good pressure on as a high half forward.
Frampton. Myercheck, quite sure whether to fly for it or not. Fogarty hammers it out of there. Parker takes the mark.
It's their 14th intercept mark, the Pies.
A lot of experience for him, the former Victorian Shield spinner. Adelaide Oval, not always an easy pitch for spinners. Cameron taken away by Dawson. Pointed centre half back. Taylor, the right time to go now. Dawson along the line. Keys versus Parker. Takes the grab, eyes to the middle, but
Darcy Moore on Neil Bullen long, so they're not going to pull the trigger long.
Taylor Walker instead.
Phil Thorpe just rucking at the moment, so he's in the centre square.
You can square it up to him.
He's looking that way.
Floats one deep. Fogarty, Quainer, through Houston. Parker again.
Good decision.
Side bottom. Explicitly trusts his left boot, but it's coming back by Walker. Nice work by Miller to run the interference. Too bold, the kick to the middle. Backfires. Schultz was all over it, but Roll was all over him. Dawson thought the whistle had gone. Stopped. Could have been penalised. Pies will make make their own punishment up. Free kick advantage. Dacos works in tandem with Silts. Slowed down, so he's going to need something pretty special here. He tries something pretty amazing. Gets through to Long. Unfortunately.
Well, you held your breath until the split came and then he ran onto it. So here we go. Is he in the back or not? Or is it a free kick for one arm free?
I'll tell you what is happening. There is such a loud crowd here that players aren't hearing the decisions that are being paid.
That's one free or the other.
Yeah.
Well, that settles it then, Gaz. Thilthorpe the tap. Pendlebury took two to bring him down, and they did. Crowd baying for blood. Side bottom, off the left of the square. One-on-one, Keane. Murray joins the defensive throng.
Well, they've done a good job here, the Magpies. The first thing is to halt the momentum. You can't have 3 unanswered goals turn into 6. So they've held that up now. They've got the ball in their front half and they're working ferociously. It's not pretty. It's just a lot.
Back into an arm wrestle now, isn't it?
It is.
We know Collingwood's dominance in these clashes, but the last 5 have been thrillers. And this could be heading that way again. Lipinski to Crisp. Good call by the umpire to throw it in.
Yeah, he realised that he was trying to release a teammate with that hand pass into space. He wasn't looking for the boundary at all.
They don't realise that, though, in the crowd. And that's the beauty of coming to the footy and having your say. In the pocket, Thilthorpe rucking, Dawson guarding. Houston fired it out. Pendlebury. Murray. Always in control until he got a little bit of a reverse out by Keane, which would have worried him and concerned the coach. Miller provides a path out and a clear one to Kirk.
Outside 5. Outside 5.
Very much in the rising star conversation. It's a great field. Maybe performance tonight could be influencing a judge or two. Up to the wing. Thilthorpe took on the world, which proves to be a little too much.
And because it's risk averse at the moment, no one's really they're prepared to take tackles and have stoppage rather than try and chain out by hand.
Loose behind the footy at each end. Laurel at the moment.
Yeah, so the game's just mired. Someone's got to be more creative by hand or foot and try and open it up, but they're both content to have this played in tight.
So who's he going to try and protect? Where will the target be? Cameron invites them to lead. Membry jumps off both feet as always. It eludes Houston. Crisp. Back to Josh Dacos. To Pendlebury again. Just calling his name over and over. Keane as they shuffle position. Myercheck tried to tame the footy. Saligo found a man to push off. And then pushes off with his kick. Out to the wing. Cameron. Little tease and then over to Nick Dacos.
Yeah, Tex had visions of catching him. That was never going to happen. He had space to do his magic.
They've got a bit back on the terms they had at the first quarter here, so the Crows struggling to get from one end to the other. All tightened up a bit.
Just a boost. 6.5 to go. Had one of his lowest possession games last week. Josh Dacos with just 20. Keeps it in the family. Breath for Nick. Quick assessment. And then to Pendlebury. And maybe back now. 57-year-old legs are working fine. Almost the mark to go. He's been paid.
He's having Geordie to go. It's been hard work, trying to find some space. Pretty crowded because the ball keeps coming back with repeat entry, so there's no great room to work into here. And he's had to stand under that one. He's got some space. Scott Pendlebury, they give him some room. He's up to 14 touches. It is a big, it's a hard-earned goal, Anthony, that couldn't come at a better time.
Big game DNA has Jordan to go in. I think this qualifies as a big game, but that's not the kick. Nothing easy about anything tonight so far.
Oh, can't get out. Can't get out of their back half again.
It's their first score of the second quarter.
Jamie Addett just come up the race with the doctor, so he's just sitting on the bench now. We'll keep an eye on him.
Pretty tame in the wonderful world of Mark Keane. That kick, he went short to Worrell. And out the bound was Dawson, cut off at the pass by Houston. I think you're getting it in long and quick. Instead, he goes to long and short. When Hill handball to Dacos, had to make it up on the run. Chris plays it back again. Long, taken down by Keys. That was high. Pentland draws them regular.
Apologies, Anthony. I was looking forward to the ball to see where they could go to. McStay made a great lead, but they just couldn't get open their vision up.
Don't apologise, Gaz.
Can they go the distance here? They can't chain up here. The Adelaide Crows have got no flow in their game, and that's a credit to Collingwood. It's all stop-start, no chain of handballs, no overlap, no corridor. There's nothing through the corridor in this quarter.
Curtin tries to take the initiative and identify something. Umpires will help out. Free kick to Tex.
Got nothing long. Got nothing long.
No, Neil Bourne now Fogarty's got back there. Moore is watching him though, ready to come in and smash it away if he can. Leaves it for Frampton. Underneath, Keys. Wild card is Fogarty. Hunting his third, Berry. Pendlebury with the tackle and the backup from Schultz. Knew what he could or couldn't do. Behind conceded. Low scoring encounter, 4 minutes to go.
It's become a fascinating watch though, because both teams struggling to transition the ball.
Dacos helped them get it out of there. Mitek came late and with effect. McCreary bangs it back to the wing. The invitation is to run and run hard. Worrell timed his advance nicely. Back through the middle, back through Dawson. So much of their play is delivered through the captain. On the half volley, it just slowed them down a bit, Tony.
Yeah, they came into the dangerous part of the ground and now they've had to go back out again.
Murray to Curtin, keeping his width. Walker again versus Moore. Has his way, does Walker, keen to move it, he's at 50. It is. He's had his moments with the umpires down in Houston over the last couple of weeks.
He got a really good kick from Dan Curtin, Taylor Walker. He had his opponent, Darcy Moore, out of the footy. He just needed enough height, enough penetration on the kick so he could hold him under. That's exactly what he got. And then he just got himself involved in a little bit of traffic and bought the penalty. Houston should not have had his hand in there at all. That's just a dumb free kick to give.
And on a night where goals are so precious, the Adelaide Crows will take a gift like that. 2 for Tex, and the Crows cut the lead to just 1 point of the Magpies.
4 in a row now, Hutto. So they were just in this state of going nowhere. So there couldn't be a score. And then they go the whole length of the ground for one of the few times in the quarter, and they need a bit of luck. They need a little bit of ill-discipline.
It's a great advertisement for saying there are times when I will kick to a contest because I'll back my bloke in if I can kick to his advantage. That's exactly what Curtin did with Walker. He nearly put that ball under Houston's arm as he was coming through. But Dan Houston should never have been there. He just needed to clear the area.
So in the second quarter, Collingwood just had the ball in their half. They had 10 inside 50s, Jace. They scored 1 behind from the 10. Just couldn't make anything happen, couldn't find any space. It was congested and crowded. Ball goes up the other end, bang, goal.
Magpies, can they take it out of the middle, up to Pendlebury? And they'll get the assistance of the call.
Light rain and a bit of wind down here, guys. Conditions are getting a bit trickier.
Nice step, drew in Dawson. And the kick was angled across to give Membry a chance in the air. McStay.
This extraordinary inside 50 differential here.
Just watch Peatling. He drops his knees a fraction, guys, and draws a lot of free kicks.
Yeah, he certainly does, Root. He certainly does, but at the moment, he's doing the job for his team, isn't he, by doing it?
You talk about that imbalance, Gaz, 35 to 17, but they're defending so well behind at the Crows, aren't they?
Relatively low ball from Keane, quite handled by Dawson, but Walker with his little lefty, and to Berry. Wide for Keys, high ball difficult for Parker. He's taken a metre, Keys. Can't turn it into a mile. Schultz, ultimate pressure player.
Good effort. Really good effort there. How many times have we seen Keys do just edge his opponent under the footy and run into an open goal? The young man Parker would have been thinking that as the ball floated over his head. He pushed back hard and they halve it, get the ball out of bounds. That's a win.
Back again with the 2 ruckmen. That was Cameron. Rankin came bursting through. Houston in the pocket. Dacos to his feet to Schultz. And then out of bounds.
You look at Isaac Rankin. We always look at Isaac Rankin. Had no impact on the game. Just had the 4 kicks. going at 25%. My foot is just, we know that at some stage he will have an impact.
Rainer watching Rankin as he floats through. The ball goes to Cumming, laid out in the tackle. On repeat. Outside the 50 now.
Don't set up behind me. Don't set up behind me.
More stern words.
I don't get that. Did they change the rule and say you're not allowed to set up behind the umpire? It's just you can't be there and have him run into you.
I don't, Jason, I don't know why he's making such a big noise with it.
We don't want them getting hit. I get that. We definitely do not. And that is the relationship that is the responsibility that's been placed upon the players.
Settled pedal was loosely what Jordan Dawson said.
You bounce it, and we won't be here by the time you get back.
That's deemed a throw. So it's a pie throw, not a crow throw. And it's Rankin.
Yeah, you're looking for a creative kick inside 50. This is the man.
Well, that's what they're looking for, but he seems as perplexed as anyone. Again, it's a scrappy, scroungy kid. That won't make his highlights real.
Hasn't got himself going, Isaac Rankin. Half a dozen possessions, but no great impact as yet. But we know in the space of 10 or 15, he can turn a game.
He was pivotal against the Hawks. Right now, he's threatening, looking for a free, and he's going to get it.
He played it. He played to it, didn't he?
To the outer zone umpire, who was the furthest away of the three that were in that half of the ground.
Want to have a really good look at this. There was a little bit of holding, but then he threw himself to the ground. Was it continual holding? Did he let go in time, or has he stooged them?
This is what he does, though. Yeah. Isaac Rankin. We just talked about the fact that he's barely been sighted, but he's just been on the move the last couple of stoppages.
The lightest of touch.
Yeah, I'm not sure there was that much in that. In fact, he was grabbing the arm of
soft as
Quainer.
Yep, what that is.
This for the lead. This is big. The kick is short. It's only 15 metres, but it's large in his head.
You better go.
And it is through. The Adelaide Crows are in front.
Well, it's a little bit of acting gas, but he earned the free kick.
Yeah, you can get on the move and you might just drag one. You should just standing there stationary, you're not going to get it. So get on the move and then ask the question to the umpire. Maybe they should stop worrying about getting out behind who's behind them and have a look at what's being played in front of them. This is to be commended. They've given up 5 goals to 1 in the first quarter and they've worked. Just look at Isaac Quainer. He'd much rather Isaac Rankin stationary rather than this. There's a little grab on the hand, a little one.
There's a little grab early there, but then here, it's actually Rankin hanging on to Quainer's arm and then throwing himself to the ground, and that's what drew the free kick.
What a response from the top of the table team, though. Down 25 points in this huge game, and here we are with a minute to go, and they've hit the front. Massive response.
So many similarities to that Hawthorn game we've referenced several times. That turned into a thriller, which the Crows won.
But again, at quarter time, he wasn't upset. He was very calm, Matty Nix. Exactly the same as he was at that game a couple of weeks ago. And they show this great resilience to reset and go again.
All kings around. What about their list of goal kickers too? Dacos takes off. The response has to be swift. Perfect delivery. Couldn't ask for more, the leading forward, mind you.
That's what they haven't had, the Magpies. So this will give them some hope. Is that they're getting territory. Now they've got to tidy up what they do when they get the territory. So they're plus 17 for inside 50s, 36 times. Now they've got to start hitting a target. That's the first step here.
Saw a big goal on the quarter-time siren from Darcy Cameron. It's pushed across. It falls short. O'Brien awkwardly claims the mark. Leo O'Brien, new star. And then he hands off to Worrell.
That is a win. That is a big win, Anthony. This is high stakes. You get jumped, and then by half-time you're back in front. That says something about this Adelaide side.
What a difference a quarter makes. 5 goals to 1 in the opening term, and then 5 goals to 0 back the other way. And the crowd bringing their best tonight. Well, sort of their best. We're going to head out onto the ground.
So the tail is, as Roo finds his target, 12 inside 50s for 1 point. Collingwood, 13 inside 50s for 5 goals.
Let's get down to Mocha Shooter.
Riley, a slow start again tonight.
Similar to the other week against Hawthorn. They came out harder than us, and we picked it up in the second quarter, but we'll have to do that again in the second half.
Nixie was controlled again at quarter time. What was the message? What did he want you to change?
It was pretty simple stuff, mate. It was just being composed with the ball and lifting our contest. We did that, so keep going now.
Looks like another close second half for Collingwood.
Oh, yeah, they're always close games. These ones, they're a great team, and we'll see how we go.
Good luck, mate.
Cheers, Roo. Thank you, mate.
Riley O'Brien in the middle. What a match we've had so far. It's a quarter each, isn't it? Adelaide, courtesy of that goal they kicked in the first term. Add it all together, and it's the Crows by 5. Tantalising second half ahead. What a sight in the city of Adelaide it is tonight. Right here.
All right, there we go. Half-time mirror image of the opening term. The Crows hitting back 6-3, 39, 5-4, 34, 9 scoring shots a P. Big shout out to T in the chat. Thanks for letting me know about the rugby live. Appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Just went a little bit wonky there, but we fixed that up. Thanks for that, T. Good stuff. Good stuff. There we go. It's the Crows by 5 points at half-time. I think we're in for a cracking game. Woohoo, Pies losing. Don't worry, Eddie. If you're sad, I'm sure Cheer will cheer you up. There we go. All right, let's go and have a little bit of a look at some of the player stats there. Let's have a look at the goal scorers. Tex to Taylor, he got on song there. He ended up with a couple. Good to see the Tex got a touch in that second term. 2 goals to him. Fogarty also 2. They both got 2 for the Crows. Ranky. Conley umpires there with that one. He's got 1, and Curtin has a goal as well. For the Pies, Membry, the only one with multiple goal scorers there were 2, Houston, Elliott, Cameron. The singles for the Maggies, there your goal scorers. Let's have a look at the disposal getters out on the ground. We'll be back with the commentators in just a minute. Nick Dacos tops the table. He's having a fantastic game out there. 18 up until half-time, 13 and 5 clearances. Scotty, the General Penderby, up to 15. Jordan Dawson also going quite well there for the Crows. He's the best of them with 14, 8 and 6. 3 clearances there for the captain. Houston Cripps next best on 12. Peatling on 11. There we go. Josh Dacos on 11. Where are some of these star players? Taylor Walker, up to 9 touches now. He got in and amongst it in that second term. I'll tell you what, he looks sharp for an old boy. Does the Tex. 9 touches, 8 kicks, of course. 5 marks, 2 goals for him. Fogarty, just the same. 9 disposals, 7 kicks, 5 marks, 2 goals. Both look reasonably dangerous there when they go down forward. Do the Crows. There we go. Let's just roll on down a little bit. Darcy Cameron, 9. Sidebottom on 8. DeGoey on 8. Also a couple clearances. Ranky with the 7 touches, 6 kicks, a handball. He's had a couple of clearances, kicked that late goal. As I said, he was a little bit quiet in the opening term, but surely he'll come into the game as he always does. He's a star for the Crows. And Berry also on 6 there. Let's roll down the board. Just Bo McCreary, a little bit quieter second term there, just with a 5. Same with Harry Perryman, just with the 4 touches. No score on the board at the moment. Let's just keep rolling on down. Brody Mychek yet to get into the game. 4 kicks, 4 disposals, 2 kicks, 2 handballs. Hasn't troubled the scoreboard at the moment. A little bit the same as Riley Thilthorpe. He's still only had the 1 touch up until half-time, like Jamie Elliott. The 1 touch, 1 kick, although Elliott has kicked a goal. So still got some of the big guns there for both teams that can get up and firing in the second half. And hopefully they do. We'd love to see a shootout here. I'm sure this is going to be a tight game right down to the wire in the final quarter. It's going to be a ring-a-ding-ding game over there at Adelaide Oval. Of course, a little bit of rain was falling. I don't know whether it was too heavy there, but yeah, dry football is definitely better football, better action, better movement. Skills are always there on play. We'll have a look at the team stats in just a moment. The commentator's just about back. They're going to give us a little bit of a wrap-up of the opening half. Of course, as I said before, the Pies winning the last 10 against the Crows, all pretty tight, 5 point, 1 point, so they're all always a close game, close result against the Crows and the Pies. Of course, round 23. Round 15, 2023, Pies had another close win over the Pies by 2 points. So 2 points, 1 point, 5 points. That's what we're talking about. Let me just put it back on there just for a moment. I was on the wrong screen, wasn't I? Let me just put it back on there. Pies by 4. There we go. I was just looking at some of the replay in the games. Round 10, 2025. There we go. This year, Pies again by 10 points. So there's been a lot of games between 10 points and under in the past 10 games. So I'm pretty sure we're going to find another one. All right, let's just go back down to the commentators for a little bit of analysis on their opening half, and then we'll come back and have a look at the team stats.
The last 5 by less than 10 points. We've got another tight one on our hands, Gary Lyon. 5 points the margin at halftime in favour of the Crows. Your initial thoughts?
We're in familiar territory, aren't we? 6 goals to 5 at halftime in this big game. Gee, the territory we're going to talk about in a moment is just trying to take advantage of field position in the end. I thought Adelaide stood up and defended the back half really well. The response was superb.
Macca's halftime highlights. We spoke about the three-headed monster pre-game. Well, 2 of the monsters are doing the job. Multiple goals to Fogarty, and also Taylor Walker.
Yeah, so Riley Thilthorpe still to fire. So I thought Fogarty early in the piece was outstanding. And we know that Taylor Walker's had his opportunities and been able to kick clutch goals. Thilthorpe will have a say in this game at some stage. Once they get more field position, they just didn't get a look in the first quarter. Thought Tex was big, took his moments, went back to kick clutch goals at the right time. So they're up and going. But as I said, 6 goals to 5. I don't reckon too many people would have thought of that. The rain hasn't come. You would have been forgiven for thinking it had.
There was a little bit of rain, but importantly, both teams have kicked the set shots that they've had. They've taken those opportunities. Plenty of pressure in this one, and it's flowed both ways.
Yeah, well, Adelaide early couldn't really get their hands on it because the ball just lived in one half of the ground and it came out and got marked and it went back in. Second quarter, they went to work and it lived in Collingwood's forward half for a long period of time. They just weren't able to score.
We spoke to the Collingwood coach pre-game, Craig McRae. He said, we've got to get some territory here. They have territory.
Oh, so it's an unbelievable number, 36 to 19. In that quarter alone, it was 12 times Collingwood were inside 50 for a 1 point. A 1 point return. Adelaide went inside 13 times and scored 5 goals, 1. That's the game right there. There was no space. Collingwood would go out and come back in and it was too crowded, Jason. They've got to get some space.
Now, Nick Dacos, the man there in the number 35 jumper, he's been a star in the first half. 18 possessions and 5 clearances, but I want you to have a look at this vision here. He wants the short ball from side bottom. He gets ignored. It's probably a kick he should get. He's hot. He's good at delivering the ball inside. So he doesn't get it. Just have a look what he does here. He's going to be a stoppage. He goes back at side bottom. And have a look. He goes back again. He wants the ball. He's demanding the ball, even from senior players, because he's on tonight. He's one that can turn this game.
Yeah, well, he's got to be one that's got to start to get reward for the efforts when they do go inside. It's beautifully poised at halftime.
It is. We have got an absolute beauty. Take a quick break. When we come back, we'll check out all the latest. The fallout from what has been a very super Saturday.
Told him. Wouldn't listen.
Is that you, Jim?
Yeah, that's him.
All right, there we go. That was just a little bit of a catch-up with the commentators. Let's head on back. We'll just have a look at some of these team stats for everyone, see what's happening, what's going on there. Team disposals, it's the Pies by 10 in the disposal count overall, so that's nothing much in that. Just +3 kicks to the Crows, +13 handballs to the Magpies. Inside 50... Well, that's a big discrepancy there. This just shows you how well Adelaide's defence is going. Adelaide have been inside 50 19 times. They've scored 9 times, so that's quite efficient. Magpies getting plenty of it in there. Just need to hit their targets. 36 times up until half-time. That's a mega number, but only 9 scoring shots also. So the Crows doing really well in defence. Pies doing really well getting it in there. So if that can open up and they can find their spots, then it could be a whole different kettle of fish. Of course, disposal efficiency down a little bit for both teams. It's a pretty hot, contested game. This one we got here this evening over there at Adelaide Oval, 69-68% disposal efficiency. A little bit like the efficiency inside 50, a little bit low for both sides as well. Just a 36 for the Crows, 33 for the Pies. Free kicks, there we go, 9-11. The away side +2. Look, the umpires haven't umpired this game too badly. I think they've done reasonably well. Hit-outs, so Adelaide dominating in the hit-outs. 31-17, they're +14 there. The clearances to the Pies, they're +6. They'll be happy with that. They're +4 in the centre and +2 around the stoppages. I always like the centre clearances. First hand on the ball. Head it down to your forward 50. Give your forwards a little bit of a chance there. Contested possession, as I said, it's a pretty well contested game here this evening. 67-63. So all pretty well tied up there. Not a great deal as the uncontested. A bit the same. There's only 7 the difference as well. Turnovers, pretty standard. 36-35. Both teams pretty equal there in the marking department. Adelaide, they're +5 there as 51-46. Marks inside 50. 7-3. Pies doing well. Marks inside 50 at 7-3. Even with that big defence, they've just got to lower their eyes a little bit instead of bombing the ball in a little bit more is what we're seeing. Whereas Adelaide certainly finding their target, getting some lead-up targets, which is really good like Fogarty did in that second term there. Contested marks, Adelaide a little bit stronger in that department. Tackle count, as I always say on every game, it's always just so important. These numbers are big, and of course, in the past few games, folks, we haven't seen these numbers getting up there, and this is the difference between good sides, good sides that are in form and are in the top 8 and they're playing finals. Chance of playing finals anyway. 34-43. Good tackle count up until half-time by both of these teams. I've seen some games lately, there have been about 10 or 15 up until half-time, and that's just not good enough. That's not going to cut the mustard when finals come around, because we all know finals are a different kettle of fish. That's all about pressure in the finals, so good to see both teams on the march in their tackle count. Of course, 4 tackles inside 52 Adelaide. The Collingwood forwards absolutely smashing the tackles in there with 19 when the season average is only 12, so really doing good in there. And of course, a lot of that I feel came in the opening quarter when Adelaide certainly struggled to get it out of there in the opening term. But it certainly was a mirror effect in that second half where Adelaide Crows hit back. Of course, the Pies only putting on 1 behind in that second term, and Adelaide putting on 5 goals, 2. So it's pretty much a mirror image, folks, pretty much a mirror image of the opening quarter. Tell you what, she's going to be it's going to be interesting third term. What's going to happen here? If you have a look at the stats here, you would think Collingwood would probably go in 4 or 5 goals up at 3/4 time. I'm just going by what I'm seeing here. All the goals have been pretty much scored down one end of the ground. We're looking at 10 goals at one end of the ground and 1 goal at the other end of the ground. So is that just coincidence, or is that just the way the game is? I don't know. We'll certainly find that out in the third quarter, but it should be a fascinating second half, that is for sure. Oh, let's head back down to the commentators, see what they've got to say. I think they've just got a little bit of news around the ground, so we might as well check in with them.
4 inside 50s in that first quarter. Should have been further ahead, but it's coming through the corridor more. Pendlebury 11 touches. Dacos in that first quarter there. Held up a little bit in the second, but I'm liking what I'm seeing from Collingwood.
They'd love to maximise more inside forward 50, Collingwood, and this is why they need Bobby Hill. Didn't play in the VFL today. Missed the session this week. The family commitment. Was sick last week. Needs a massive week on the track, Bobby Hill, to be anywhere near the selection frame for the clash against Melbourne next week. He's crucial.
They'd love to have him on a night like this, wouldn't they? Plus 27 inside 50s and trailing by 5 points.
These are moments games. Just 3 moments where Bobby creates something unbelievable, and all of a sudden you can pinch this game on the road and things light up for you in the right time of the year.
It's been an evolution in the Adelaide game, is that they've been able to come back after being dominated in that first quarter. It's a sign of Matthew Nix's side preparing for finals where they will be a challenger. They were sensational, especially at the start of the second quarter.
They have a lot of belief, though. The boys are right in their conversation. They've come over. They're within 5 points at half-time.
Pressure's high.
Big tick.
Time to play.
We're here. We're in the game. We're giving them some headaches. I think they'll be through with where they sit right now.
Which way does it go?
Little Nick, look out.
Staying with Adelaide, guys.
Here we go. Huge second half coming up from Adelaide Oval. It is the Crows leading by just 5 points.
What a response from the Adelaide Crows. As the Pies out of the blocks, they kicked 5 to 1 in the opening term, and the response was immediate and immense. And they are in front heading into the third term. It's such a tense game. A lot of moments in the build-up with Taylor Walker. Unbelievably, his son Louis barracks for Collingwood because he's fallen in love with Nick Dacos. And he mentioned through the week on radio that he'd do anything to get a photo and meet Nick. And there you go, great little moment before the game.
Young fella still forced to wear the Adelaide jumper though, regardless.
Well, is he going to get fed?
Great shots though.
So, big second half. Massive. Riley Kilthorpe's had one touch. In that game we've been referencing all night in the wet because the rain is starting to come down heavily. He was unbelievable, Jason. He kicked 4 goals that night, was a dominant player. He might be the biggest stump we got for Collingwood.
10 of 11 goals, kicked to the right of screen, which was the opposite end to the end where they kicked them all 2 weeks ago in that topsy-turvy game between the Hawks and the Pies.
Such is the conditions that the ball is thrown up to start this critical third term. It's been a quarter where Collingwood at their best have been brilliant, and they start that way. They did lose third quarter in their recent 2 losses against the Hawks and the Lions. 25 points was their lead on quarter time. Now they'll have to come from behind. Long, his kick is just that. Off hands. Creeps over the boundary line.
So what do they do at half-time? Craig McRae looks out and says, territory's not our problem. It's what we do when we do go in there. So what are they going to be looking to do here, Jace?
Well, they've got to separate to start with. What they were really good at was putting that pressure on and getting that repeat entry in that first quarter. I think if they can get back to that level of pressure and force the mistakes, they'll get an opportunity to punish them on those turnovers.
Dacos. Lipinski rushes it forward. Bond. Elliott's only had one disposal. It was a goal. He's denied there. Keane staves them off. It was almost out of the full. Owner marks anyway.
Really good pair of hands in the misty rain.
Just a reverse growth rate, yeah.
Softens the kick, Quainer. Who's going to fly? McStay against two. Miller cuffs her on from Crisp, and he's not letting go. Rose have got 3 goal side. Embry tries to level those numbers up. McStay, Dacos from the pocket. I wouldn't have shocked you.
No, he was looking for the miracle. He's getting plenty of it. He's up to 20. Nick Dacos, clearly the most, 5 more than Scotty Pendlebury.
So the two challenges are really clear in the game. The Crows have got to get their way through. Once they do, they score when they go inside 50. Collingwood, they've got to maximise when they go back inside. Right now, the reset here.
He's just got his first touch.
Look inside 50. It's 3 Collingwood players against 4 Adelaide at the moment. They win this stoppage, they go back inside. It's hard.
They had their best success in the first term when they were random chaos kicks inside 50.
Those great tough legends, Rashudo and Best, just cowering against the fence. Cameron, meantime, was inclined to flick it off.
So put your boot into this, Jace. Don't go predictable. Go somewhere. Go to some space. Try and create something.
Kick the torpedoes, the different sorts of kicks.
He's thinking about it. Side bottom, in a straight line. Elliott got some separation. The leapers were all Adelaide. No mark. Chris backing through to Goey. Big tackle from Elliott. Not going on behind the ball. We're pointing. You go there. I've got this covered. Murray, his goalkeeper.
Guys have got Darcy Moore loose behind the footy.
Dacos from one pocket, now looking to do it from the other. Puts it down. Following suit was Crisp and Elliott.
It's a conundrum, this. They're doing so well at position that all it does is it invites a crowd. And they can't find any space to work in.
Beatley. All lost under there somewhere. Crisp gets dispatched. It comes out to Dacos. And now he's missed one from either side.
Yep, but he's created a couple of shots early here in the third term. And you know, if Nick Dacos has a few shots, he's going to start getting his eye in.
While we're trying to get the ball dry.
Would have been a discussion at half-time with Adelaide. You would have thought if they're going to put someone to try on Nick Dacos, but it doesn't look like they have so far.
Kicks it down the seam. No swing through the air for Worrell. The ball off hands to Crisp, to Long again, who has the entry. Couldn't have been much higher or fluky for someone to try and trap. Schultz will do it at ground level. Just got the handball back. Perryman. Crowd holds its breath. Murray. Oh, I'm not sure he touched it. The post did.
Might have gone right underneath it. Oh, so got a sameness about it again.
Yep. It's living down this end.
Yep.
They can't exit.
There's no wind there either, Jace.
This is just the reverse of a couple of weeks ago, isn't it? High ball suits the ruckman. O'Brien can't capture in the air. Bill Thorpe made his way to it, but can't get away.
He did touch it, in fact. Nick Murray. He may have had an airing, got very lucky there.
Hit the post.
Yep, very lucky.
Yeah, outnumbered ahead of the footy, Collingwood. So Keane is spare inside defensive 50 for Adelaide.
The stalemate in the ruck, Crisp. Here comes Bond to go in. Real hunger and appetite around the footy. Same applies for Sidebottom. Almost lost his strides, not the composure. Membry, can he release it? Dubiously he does. To go in Long again. Rankin, defence, turned into attack. Can it be searing attack? Murphy knew where Dawson was, but Cameron knew where Dawson was also.
Great tackle. Great pressure everywhere. It's on all over the ground. There's no space to work in, and there's no easy kick to be won. So every touch comes with a high price attached to it.
Yeah, they've started well. First 6 clearances of the quarter to Collingwood.
Good when your ruckman can do that too in open play.
They're controlling the footy again, except for that kick inside 50.
Gets away from Maynard. Thought closed, made it awkward down the line, improvised nicely. Schultz hits it hard, turning immediately. Wants to up the ante, raise some questions of this Adelaide defence. They were up to the task. The fist away from Fogarty. It was well directed too. And then it's coming along the wing, and it is coming Peatling's way.
Super kick.
Hard running from Fogarty so he can join in, not just the defence, but now the attack. Down the line, he has Thilthorpe, he has Walker. Seems the logical place to go. Cameron also predicts correctly. Rankin.
Talk about Thilthorpe only having one touch. He's always got that extra man back there. They're very conscious of what he can do in the air. It's either Darcy Cameron manning him up or Darcy Moore that's free. So it's a tough night for Riley.
Wondering if there's just some lingering effects from last week for Riley Thilthorpe. That anxious moment, they called it an old-fashioned stinger. Just held at the shoulder there. Coming, snaps it around the corner. Fogarty knew he couldn't mark.
It's a good result for Adelaide. A good spoil from Darcy Fogarty. Completely out of position marking-wise, but he gets the fist in, forces the stoppage inside their attacking 50. Maybe they can lock the ball down this end for a while.
Big stoppage, 40 metres out from Adelaide's goal. Rankin provided a block, but the ball finds him. And then he runs straight into a brick wall.
Yeah, he was trying to make something special happen there, Isaac. Rankin couldn't get through. Good defence again, good pressure.
Two of the absolute maestros, aren't they? Rankin and Dacos on the same field. Margin is 2. Worrell goes down. Would they rather have Worrell with it? Feeds it forward. Miller, who is a beautiful kick. Rankin from the side doesn't fly. Beats everyone.
We're also having trouble isolating Thilthorpe. He hasn't had any one-on-ones, really, throughout the course of this contest.
Well, he has got a starting point because he gets dragged up the ground so much because the ball's living down the other end. Yeah, he'd love to start out of the goal square and do his work in front of him, but he ends up getting dragged up.
Crisp gets it out of there and finds a one-on-one, even though Keane had prime position. Bond on the reflex to Worrell. And Lipinski tackling coming.
And they're not moving it coast to coast, so every time the ball goes down there, it's coming down slowly. Collingwood are really well set up behind the play.
Well, getting a little tense. Trying to play their part. 51 goals for the year, Riley Thilthorpe. On the move as Dacos ball gets away from him. Not easy for anyone to dictate. Long. Backs up, Dacos is still ready. Running to receive from DeGoey. Great turn from Murphy, inspiring stuff to centre half forward to Thilthorpe. Again, Frampton had the best vantage point on Matters and the backup. Perryman to side bottom. Hard lead, McStay. Not the right man to go to yet.
Gotcha.
It was. He kicked it to McCreary and made him a target.
40 inside 50s, 7 marks in the forward 50. They just can't find a target here at the minute.
Houston just off the bench. The kick is belted down towards Elliott. A real look at it, Worrell.
Garrett, just like it's hard for Riley Thilthorpe down the other, and it's the same for the Collingwood forwards. Adelaide is set up behind the play as well and quite often got the outnumber. So it's just not a night for big forwards, really, with wet and a little bit of wind and an extra man in their area.
Close to goal again. O'Brien, Creary came through. Out of there from Peatling. They stand their ground. Cameron with a left hand. 25-metre spike. Anything goes on a night like tonight. Bond, Hugh Bond, feeds it through the middle. Miller back to the wing. Darcy Moore. The last line of defence, yes. The last line of defence on centre wing. Over to Frampton. Beautiful looking kick for Elliott. He's almost got it. McCreary. Back to the square.
You're not going to get a mark kicking to Jamie Elliott did to Jamie Elliott 2-on-1 with Riley O'Brien being the one of them.
It's now 43 to 21, the inside 50s, more than double. I don't think you can win a game of football with that sort of imbalance.
So I just wonder at some stage here, well, maybe now that this rain is absolutely hosing down, you just got to be predictable. But they certainly haven't tried to change anything for the centre.
And it goes again. Membry, a lot to deal with in the air. So it's a ground ball game, which won't suit the ruckman. Heaves it out of there, O'Brien, Dacos, Parker, Murphy, all eager. Reverse rights were effective for Houston until he tried to release it. Hook back, that was Walker. Murphy again.
But if the ball continues to live down in Collingwood's forward line, they'll scrap a goal or two somehow. It'll happen. So if they can't turn around this territorial advantage, they're facing an uphill battle, the Crows.
It's now 1-on-1. Oh, no, it's not. They've got the +1 in their defensive 50 again. So for Collingwood, it's 9 impossible. At the other end, Darcy Moore's just sitting on his own. So defence on top, obviously.
Hinge dealt with, so instead of Collingwood getting a free that they're hoping for, it's going Adelaide's way. So these two teams, again, we are looking at it.
Well, I wish we could tell the audience more. I wish there was more nuance to the game, but it's been the same.
And not now, there can't be with this weather, Gaz.
Well, only as much as if you want to even up and be prepared to kick it over the back.
So many elements of September, but not from the weather gods. Perry from the Phil Thorpe handball, and you can hear the crowd's expectations level rising. More though.
So you just take territory now and be prepared to now have it live in your forward.
That was actually the right kick from Berry. If he kicked it as long as he could, Moore's waiting. Now he had to chip it to Taylor Wood, which set him up a little bit, but at least it forces Moore to come forward, spoil out of bounds.
The price of goal now. Cameron from out under his arm. Flipped up by Tagoe. Close to the line for Cumming. Allows himself and Smith to get the ball over the line.
So I would like Riley Thilthorpe to stay deep now. Don't come up. Don't come up and take Frampton into an area of the ground where Frampton's going to feel more comfortable. Take him back to the goal square and have him one-on-one in the goal square and be prepared just to boot it long towards those two.
On its way back in again. O'Brien. Good connection with Saligo. Close to a free. Now it's Houston's turn to be the tackler.
So they got one extra at the stoppage. Oh, sorry, they both got one behind the footy. It's
Keane's loose behind the ball.
And still, Frampton now is the one that goes deepest for the Pies.
Backed out of there by Cameron.
Good offside.
Same tactics, even more effect. Myercheck, handball, back to goal was Elliott. Tried to thread it, but unanticipated by that loose Keane. So it was useful. High ball should favour Dawson. Pushed off his centre of gravity by Houston.
The thing now is Dawson can't go quick long because there's the outnumber. So now it slows down again.
He's fielding offers, but goes back to the experience. Brody Smith.
And to be fair, both teams seem to be prepared to let this unfold. Yep. No one's trying to change anything up.
The Magpies games hold it tonight. The kick down on Curtin. He's got the springs and he takes the mark. Kick goes deep towards Thilthorpe. He's got to deal with two. It might be a free kick.
Well, amen.
That's where you put a defender under pressure, and it's Maynard giving away the size.
So he's in an area of the ground that you can kick it to him, not an area of the ground where the ball's going to sail over his head. You must kick it to this man, and he just stands his ground now and competes, whether it's against Maynard or Frampton or Moore, it doesn't matter. He has to be in the marking contest.
How big are these kicks?
That's what that contested mark does from Dan Curtin. Just opens the game up and gets the ball quickly to guys like Thilthorpe.
So Curtin sets it up. And now Riley Thilthorpe, we knew his moment would come.
That hurts. The only way you're going to win a game with half the inside 50s of the opposition is to take every opportunity. This is the contested mark we're talking about. In the wet, takes the big high chest mark. It's a beauty. But you've got to take those opportunities if you're Thilthorpe.
Dacos towards Cameron and O'Brien. Myercheck at the back. Ball finds its way awkwardly to Cameron and found side bottom at the absolute 11th hour. And the handball is fed from Dawson to Smith under the hammer. No tackle from McCreary. Let's just remind everyone of what happened with Riley Thilthorpe last week when those moments of anxiety in Perth looked like he'd really hurt his shoulder, had to come off the ground. They got him good. And we saw it checking for the head, but it ended up being the neck and a stinger in the shoulder, and he was able to get back on the ground and play out. Charging forward, Pendlebury always looking to create. Over the top went Crisp. Worrell to Berry, not so sure with the hands. Same for Murray, relentless pressure. A real means of controlling matters too from down there.
So they've had all this dominance, Gaz, territory-wise. 46 to 23 inside 50s. It's 46 minutes since they've kicked the goal.
Yeah.
The Pies.
Which is why you're a bit surprised that you haven't tried to change it up, and they've just let the status quo unfold, and Jamie Elliott has a shot from the stoppage. They hope that something like that can prevail.
But it must be difficult for Craig McRae to change something when you are having 2-1 inside 50s compared to the opposition.
Yeah, no, it is. That's half of the battle, though, isn't it? The territory's working, but then you're not getting the reward from the territory. So maybe you've got to look at what your inside 50 looks like. I think that's Keane.
Yeah, the unpredictable Mark Keane to the wing, just tips over the head of Walker. Rankin tries to make his charge, but can't.
He must have made the latest of decisions not to pull the trigger on the kick he was thinking.
On Tiger Woods, wasn't it? Just pulling out.
I'm going to go for a little one here. Oh, no, I bet not.
He did hit his foot, thankfully.
What a prize for the Crows. They can almost seal the minor premiership with a win tonight. It'll be confirmed if Sydney beat Geelong tomorrow, or the Crows then go on and beat North in the last round. De Goey. Magpies now virtually certain of playing in September. They'll have their eyes on a top four, a double chance.
I just can't recall seeing a team trailing when they've had more than twice as many inside 50s as the opposition.
Huge anomaly. Knocked it out, O'Brien. Houston back to Pendlebury. That's dangerous throw as well. There's some tired boys out there by the end of the night.
It's almost like they're waiting for the last quarter, and then maybe we're going to see Rankin one out inside forward 50 or De Goey one out. Maybe then you get a bit more creative and expansive. But right now they're just prepared to trade these sorts of punches. Collingwood will go back inside 50. Keane will intercept. They'll defend it well and come back out. That's just the game right now.
Frustration on the face of Taylor Walker from that kick. And Keane.
Good hands. They're just kicking to each other, back and forth.
Exactly what we just said. It's a status quo game.
The good outweighs the bad, usually, with Mark Keane. That was a fine mark. Back along the wing. Phil Thorpe, what a commanding figure he is in the air.
So he can win you the game. He will win you the game if you give him a chance.
He's only been goalless 3 times this year. The first was against Collingwood in the middle of the year.
Took the choice kick too, didn't he? Into Smith.
You can count on one hand the number of times he's been able to run and jump the footy.
Parker comes forward. Good call. Curtin, the other that was able to take the mark, and he gets pulled back towards the middle of the ground. Dawson out to Rankin. Excitement builds around the Adelaide Oval. Just didn't get it quite right.
Great defence, Maynard.
He was good. He knew what was going to happen. That's the kick they were looking to fashion, the little chip lead. And Maynard just read it quicker. He went first.
So that corridor's going to need no mowing. No one's been through it all night.
Back by Murray. That touch was deft from O'Brien. Taylor, Saligo, when's the time to launch? Keys, they've got it to the right man, but he's got Collingwood players all around him. Still got the kick away somehow. From Walker to Saligo. Chris, about to be tackled.
He just needed a more subtle hand pass.
Not gone yet. Well, now it is. Walker sprays the kick.
Rankin magic there.
Yeah, but if Walker just softens that hand pass, they stroll in and kick a goal. Saligo, I think it was. He just drilled it. It was too quick.
A bit of physicality there as well from Isaac Rankin.
No called on. Cameron comes up to the ball. Dawson as well with O'Brien. Curtin
No,
took a chance. Play the odds on that occasion. To the phone for the coach, Matthew Nix. He's sub tonight, Harry Schonberg, who's had to wait all season to get a chance for action. He's overcome injury, put up great form in the SANFL, and he has energy. He'll be desperate to throw his weight around out there, Harry Schonberg. Ed Allen is in reserve for the Pies.
Corridor abandoned. It's all night. It's just been down one side and the other.
Same line from side bottom. 4 biggest guys there. Peatling led the scamper. Now Smith. There's the angle it across the juggling mark. Taken by Parker. Still held at bay.
More aggressive.
It was towards De Goey. Maybe had his hand held by Taylor. Made it up as he went along. Can they punish them finally? Myercheck.
Who's going to take that half opportunity?
Maybe, though, on the back of that kick, they might get more aggressive. So that gives them their best look for the quarter when they do come inside for the first time.
Someone's just got to make the most of it. We're seeing little looks at goal at each end, but no one's been able to take it.
Rankin or a Dacos, Jason, you don't need an award for saying that. It's going to be one of the players that's got the magic. They will just turn it.
Dawson, he's the other that can be so influential in big games, in big moments. But still we wait.
A third quarter that has produced 4 behinds to Collingwood and a single behind to Adelaide.
And both teams still happy to allow the opposition a loose in defence.
Pies led by 25 at quarter time. It's the biggest lead in the game so far. Parker surrounded, had no means of getting away from Neil Bullen. What an addition he's been to the Adelaide Crows. So much footy IQ he brings. Kicks to half forward. Playing at full extension. Hillthorpe didn't know where it was going.
Falcon. I think it might have got him on the melon.
Who kicked it? I thought Hinge kicked it.
The umpires didn't know.
No, I think it came off Hinge's foot.
Wow. Crowd like it.
What was that?
Hinge gets it deep. Hard to rise, Hillthorpe. At the front, Walker waiting for it, Peatling. It turns into a tackler again on the Pies. Holds them up.
Whose foot does it hit? That's off Mitch Hinge. Stole one. Then went and claimed the free kick.
Rankin was trying to get to it. Neil Bullen just threw it on the boot.
But you're seeing little opportunities to sneak a kick to the advantage of a teammate, to take territory, get towards goal, and players just fluffing their lines at the moment. It's tough conditions, a lot of pressure out there, but someone's got to separate it.
Moore puts his body through that kick. Stay at the front. Hillthorpe stood his ground. Takes the mark. Overtures from everywhere. Ball stepped around Lipinski. Trying to get a bit funky. Might hurt. What will the punishment be? It's a rush kick forward. Big intersection at half forward. These are the moments that matter. Cameron, Membry, one kick into the 50 was a huge one. Not quite for Myercheck. Rattled around. Murray went through but didn't get out the other side. And the umpire doesn't call it either way.
Well, it wasn't the Collingwood player's fault. He got poleaxed because he spun out of it and into him.
Well umpire. Great call. Didn't panic. Just called it right. Well done. Mark Keane and Myercheck have had a monstrous clash all afternoon, all evening rather.
Yeah,
Keane's got the better.
Keane's got one in the nose, I think.
Volleyed forward by Pendlebury. Bond again. Comes to a standstill courtesy of Crisp.
What's a Ford 50 stoppage goal worth tonight? Right now. It's worth about 10.
Peatling is watching Dacos. Hillthorpe the tapper. Peatling has left Dacos to go after the footy. Crisp. Side bottom. Neil Bullen. Well, each passing minute.
Now it's Adelaide's time to absorb.
Yep.
So Collingwood absorbed it down the other end, didn't give up a goal. Now with 4 minutes to go, Adelaide have got to do it.
Here's the score again, as we can see. 10 of the 11 goals.
Why?
To that end. Lipinski. His moment passed. Saligo and Fogarty.
And Collingwood are really well set up behind the plate.
Put up a stop sign.
Yeah, that was smart from Fogarty just to pull up. He had to pull up.
Rankin chances his arm down the line. Moore versus Walker. 2 old stages now. Neil Bullen. Frampton wrapped up by Keys, but not before the Sharon got away. Side bottom. Maynard finds that left boot. Down the line he goes. Well, the jumper of McStay being tugged is there for all to see. There's a size and weight mismatch. Bond.
Need to go in to get down and get a bit of magic. It's not coming conventionally tonight. There's been few conventional goals. It'll be a half chance it needs to be taken.
Daniel McStay pulls the kick a little. And Myercheck out of his grasp.
In the end, it was a beautiful kick. Just couldn't hang on to it. Myercheck got the front position.
At this way, Riley. Daniel.
3:43 to go in the third term. Will we see a goal? Berry. Dacos kicked two behinds in the term. Schultz. Millerer confronted by Lipinski. Peatley read the rising bounce. Lost his footing, and then it's come off Schultz's boot. And the umpire thought that was a sure thing.
It's just a fascinating contest, the way this has become such a struggle to move the footy.
Third highest scoring team and the eighth highest scoring team have kicked 6 goals to 5, nearly at three-quarter time.
Peatling back to the wing. Rankin. Curtin. Berry. And now Bond. They are goal side. They are out. The run is from Cumming. He has keys. Ready, willing, waiting. Back to Cumming. It's a Crow goal. It breaks the shackles at the Adelaide Oval. And the crowd rejoices.
Was it planned or was it by fortune?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because someone's got to look at it and go, there it is. Take a risk. Get it in the middle of the ground. The whole thing opens up here. So that kick there changes the whole complexity of the match.
Is it a throw from Keys?
And the ball then, look at the space they got to work into.
He did well, didn't he? Did really well coming just to keep the ball going forward where the numbers were.
Oh, my Lord.
That's a genuine throw from Ben Keys.
That's the definition of a crow throw. Right there.
But he didn't need to.
He didn't need to.
I don't think he meant to. That's just the way it came out.
His fist didn't catch up with the ball in the end. But what a big goal. Low-scoring contest, 8-point margin.
Their biggest lead. Collingwood looked to storm out of the middle. The stormer was Pendlebury. Elliott was almost on the end of it. Myercheck, clever. Hinge. Flipped it up. Lipinski. Not to be.
See, their ability to defend time and again. Deep in defence, the Crows have been extraordinary tonight.
51 inside 50s to 28. 51 for 5 goals.
And you're nearly 10 points in front.
No goals for almost 2 quarters for the Magpies. It's a low ball which gave access to the likes of Houston and Long. Dacos, it won't arrive to him, at least not yet. Keys. Quainer was thinking a step ahead, a play ahead. Again, the Crows on guard. Hinge can't get through. Neil Bullen did what he had to do. Dacos, they close out on him as well. And even the great ones get caught.
Coming up for an hour. Collingwood last kicked the goal.
We saw Mark Cairn trying to pick something off with a kick out of defence as well, which didn't quite work. He continues to probe.
So you had the Rankin goal at one end, you had the throw there that wasn't paid at the other end.
Worrell just places it down the line. Curtin knew where the ball was going to drop. And back into Billy.
And that one goal that came from an accidental corridor kick.
Yeah, so that's whether they look in there, there's space everywhere in there at the moment.
On 15, but it's rattled out of there by Hinge. Oh, there's fantastic take from Cameron.
I think it nearly is time to go back in there, Jess. I'm not joking either. Now that it's been ignored so much tonight that now there is space in there and you can go in if you're inclined to.
Do you wait till you need to? Because there could be big consequences, Gaz, if you go through the middle.
I think that's right, Roo. I think maybe three-quarter time, then they'll all get together, both sides, and they'll make decisions on how aggressive they want to be.
And you talked about Collingwood, 5 goals from all their inside 50s. They have been last in the competition since round 18 at goals from inside 50s.
Dacos read the cues to the middle, to Houston. Tries to rattle through. Taylor stuck to task. Worrell, he does target the middle. Quainer wins out against Keys. Dacos again. Side bottom again. Back on the wing. Can they find a way forward? Now an opening. Quainer to side bottom. McCreary to his right. But instead fires it in. Elliott.
How good is that kick from side bottom? Well, they're the players you want when a half opportunity comes up. It was a ball up for dispute on the wing. Could have gone either way. And then side bottom sees the lead of Elliott, who's really struggled to get involved tonight. He's kicked the 1 goal with just the 4 possessions. This isn't beyond him by any stretch.
20 seconds remaining. 2 whole quarters since Collingwood kicked their last goal. So much rests on Jamie Elliott. And once again, he is the man for the biggest moment. The bigger the better for Jamie Elliott. 50 goals for the season. That could be his finest.
What a kick. You shouldn't be surprised. He's done it so often over the journey. What a great camera angle. And from your point of view, Jason, you talk about all the time running a straight line. That's as good as you'll see. 2
perfect kicks. The kick to the lead was brilliant. And these are men that have kicked 50-plus goals. Have a look at the names on that list. So, first time for 12 years for the Pies.
He's had a year. He's had a sensational year. He's been a little off, certainly not as dominant as he was at the start of the season, but that's as important a goal as you'll kick right now. Brings it back to 2 points. Game right up for grabs. They're going to go to a 3/4 time huddle. It'll be fascinating to see what they come out with.
Siren sounds. It's a goal that could make all the difference. Momentum, confidence, poise, strategy. It's all going to come together. McRae and Nix will have their words, and then it's up to the Warriors. 3 tough quarters have already elapsed, and at the end of it, it's Adelaide by 2. These sides only know how to play close ones. Collingwood have dominated the Adelaide Crows for a decade. Remember these guys, round 17, 2016, our very own Eddie Betts. It was the last time that Adelaide prevailed against Collingwood. Tom Lynch, there was Josh Jenkins, and of course, Adelaide went on to play in a grand final in 2017 and fell just short. And since that time, Collingwood have had the wood on the Adelaide Crows, as Rory Atkins way back when. Can they do it tonight? Matthew Nix has never had that winning feeling against Collingwood through 6 attempts. Minor premiership almost will be sealed tonight if they can get over the line. Eddie Betts was there back in 2016. You weren't, were you, Mark?
No, I wasn't. I was doing what I'm doing right now, calling the footy, but this is going to be another close one. The last 5 games have been a total of 22 points, and 2 of those games, I think the AFL come out and said the umpires got it wrong. It's going to be another tight one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, when we look at players like Riley Thilthorpe, Isaac Rankin, they stand up in the last quarter. We saw what happened last week. They didn't have a big game, and then they stood up in that last quarter.
Yeah, sure did. We know Thilthorpe hurt his neck, and Rankin had 20 in the second half. Dacos on fire as well. Looks like Saligo's gone to him to try and slow him down a little bit. Also Peatling at times at stoppages, so they're well aware that he could be the match winner for Collingwood.
Yeah, going to the big names here, just wondering how they're going to set up to maximise their inside 50s. Collingwood, they look like they're going the same structure, so Elliott to the goal square. At some stage, maybe Dacos gets isolated, one out deep. We know that Rankin will do that and goes down and take his man and expose him. Someone's got to make the most of their opportunities, Jason, this last quarter. It's a fascinating game. It's up for grabs right now.
Ball has lived in the forward 50 right of screen. Is that going to be the case again in this last term?
So to go in the middle, Nick Dacos in the middle. Sub still to be deployed. Schoenberg and Ed Allen.
Zach Taylor's gone and Schoenberg on.
He's watching with all the rest of us. 1 big quarter to go. Pendlebury. And here is Schoenberg straight away. Dawson, it's poked forward. Well marked by Cameron. Quickly lays it off. Perryman wide. McCreary beaten to the punch by Keane. Side bottom.
So you're going to watch to see if there's some urgency. Make out, try and get their forwards a one out look. They haven't changed anything, Collingwood, in their front half. So they've had all these inside 50s for 6 goals, but they've gone with it. And Mark Keane goes and drops into the hole and plays loose. Darcy Moore plays loose behind for Collingwood.
O'Brien, a couple of goes at it with some success. Down the line, Fogarty. Little pocket of space, feeds the handball back to Cumming. Kicked a big goal in that 3rd term. These 2 sides have never had a goalless quarter, and they weren't far off, were they? In the end, they were both able to hit the scoreboard. The purity of Jamie Elliott telling for the Pies to give them a little crack at it. Big leap from Myercheck. Up goes Smith. Full steam ahead. Rankin found a way in the air. What a task for Parker. Oh, Rankin making it up as he goes along. His ad-lib was perfect. Out comes Houston. They get on each other's way. Thilthorpe. Neil Bullen. Perryman and Parker. The young man curls the kick. Worrell got the jump on McCreary. Side bottom tries to play protector. Now he wins the Sheridan. Back to McCreary. Swing and a miss.
Oh, he had a bit of time and space there, McCreary. If he picks it up, he could have run.
They had the one-on-one too for the first time down the ground here. It is just again, the ball goes inside 450. You think there's 3 chances for Adelaide to get out, and Collingwood's defence closes them down.
2-point margin. Crowd quiet. Dawson, Saligo all wrapped up with side bottom. Hard call for the umpire.
Dawson's the other one who's had some heroic last quarters over the journey and lifted his side across the line.
Nick Dacos is actually coming up to the stoppage from half forward. That's why Brodie Smith is with him one-on-one, so there might be a little bit more space in the Collingwood forward line.
Cameron wary of O'Brien. Follows it up long. Even the numbers of the effort. Sprawled out, there's bodies everywhere. Pendlebury 2 goes. Saligo. Hands, but straight to McCreary. Head up straight away. Searching with his eyes. Follows with the kick. Through to Schultz. The run from Houston. It's on. It's on. Houston. Here comes the lead. Elliott, all dropped by Worrell. Needed the backup. Loose ball. Grabbed by Myercheck. Found a way to get a kick away. Keane with surety. That's a good punching kick too.
But again, I don't want to be a broken record. There's nothing ahead of it. Only Darcy Moore's here. The three deepest players are Collingwood players from here. So you've got to go Fogarty. He looks up again. You'll see Maynard in the hole on his own. So there's no incentive to go quick for either side. This.
Wow. What a kick. Cavalier, it turns out, as they look and do almost turn it over. The backup, though, was fine from Hinge and Soligo. And now Neil Bullen. It's a bullet. It's a Neil Bullen right under the chest of Keys.
We've seen both teams have success when they've gone into the corridor, even though it hasn't been the perfect kick, because you just don't know what's going to happen. Teams aren't set up to protect that area.
Risk and reward, Jace. It is. So one was a bit fortuitous.
That could have gone horribly wrong, that kick.
It did, but it also changed the complexion of the game.
He might not get the distance here, Keezer.
He has gone back a long way.
He was shaking his head as he was starting his run-up.
Skips in. He's going to give himself every chance. 50 metres, it's going to the line. It was never straight. Did it stay in for Neil Bullen? It's hit the post. So we have a throw in.
So they've come in behind this now, Adelaide, so they all push up. Everyone's in a half of the ground. Elliott's the deepest forward. Hinge is the one that's loose behind the ball. The rest of the numbers are just going towards the contest.
We'll make sure of everything, particularly at this ground when Ben Keys is involved.
Yes.
And we know they've been close games in recent times, so a point could make all the difference. Nope.
Didn't go across there.
Review complete. Looking at his angles, we see the ball is touched into the behind post. Decision on the scoreboard.
Are you surprised, Jace, that there's no change the way these two teams are set up?
I think when there's only 2 points of difference, both of them think it's basically working for us. We just need to take that half opportunity and we'll win it. But if someone gets down a couple of goals, then I think we see the roll of the dice.
Huge throw in. Rankin spinning around. Oh, a kick just like Nick.
You just got to get these blokes around the footy, Hunter.
I'm just listening to Eddie down here. He's just trying to tell Isaac how to do it down here. Didn't even have a look at the goals, but it's fascinating to watch.
Beautiful tap, wasn't it?
And they do it again with a different result. Soligo the target, long, pulled it out of there to McCreary. Hands were good enough. Even Pendlebury couldn't find a gap. Quick kick long. It was a good kick. Myercheck used his body. A little spurt from Elliott, amounts to nothing, and that's a little reckless. Schoenberg wears it and wears it well. Kicks quickly, but wide. Too wide.
It's a bad miss. He had space to Dawson, and then he would have been the one kicking the ball inside 50. Opportunity gone, begging.
Some stage, they're going to have to even up so you can attack the game and really go after it.
Parker's kick, lands on the wing. And again, it's a free kick for a bit of holding.
Well, he's given Brody Myercheck a bit of a hiding mark Keane tonight.
Still early days in this final term, but with each passing minute, feels like the stakes and the tension rise. Hinge has length on the kick, doesn't get to Fogarty. All the backup was Collingwood. Frampton fumble from Houston, right at the ship. Dacos across the ships.
Yeah, not sure who he was aiming for. Mitch Hinge with the kick going forward. Notice to the advantage of Collingwood defenders.
There's been no thought about a change of direction. There's been no thought about trying to launch through the middle.
Embry not really in position to mark, but he was able to spoil to Elliott's advantage. Standoff with Worrell. Deep it goes. Deep water for Keane. Able to keep Myercheck at bay. Confusion with the handball. Crisp up against the line. Skating on thin ice. Hinge too short with the kick. Forced it down the throat. Can they get out of there? Soligo in a bind. Membry. Forwards have got to tackle when you have the footy in your end. Another Crows ball.
Yeah, no point in picking that up.
I don't know how you get away with that.
Long, brute strength got them through. Membry knew not to take possession. Worrell heaves it out. Houston's tap was significant. Crisp. Oh, Parker.
Well,
Into the pocket, off balance Lipinski, and Myercheck.
Gee, Nick Dacos was lurking around there too, but he just couldn't be the one to get on the end of it.
Well, where is he now? Because that's where the eyes have got to go to from an Adelaide point of view.
Right, in the middle of the stoppage.
And Hinge is the one that's got the roll.
Adelaide Oval, packed to the rafters, capacity crowd, willing every kick, and that one from Hinge had extras on it, didn't it? It's gone out of bounds, and it inevitably is coming back.
Josh Dacos has averaged 28 disposals this year, just sitting on 14 at the moment. Lockie Murphy done a pretty good job as a negative forward.
Inside 50, barely. Knocked away from Murray. He had good help. Curtin's handball, though, it wasn't too helpful.
So maybe there's an opportunity to release Josh Dacos into a different role. If it's not working off halfback, put him on ball.
Throw him into the middle for sure. I'm just waiting for one of the two coaches to make a change. They've been content to be outnumbered in their forward half all night.
Oh, Membry's tap was brilliant to go. Maybe worth a shot, maybe not. Schonberg thought he could get through. Well, he could, Hinge couldn't. Locked away, Membry. You have a split second to make a call the moment you pick up the ball on nights like these. Still 14 minutes remaining. Packed in the hill, packed under the scoreboard. 54,283. It's a record for Adelaide Collingwood, well and truly. O'Brien back towards the boundary. Appealed needlessly.
Goal apiece since half-time. One goal each. Nearly next goal wins the way this is unfolding. And again, holding their nerve. You can just look at either end of the ground. There's an outnumber in the forward line for each team.
Matthew Nicks muttering away. Collingwood on the edge of their 50. Dacos turns tackler. 25 disposals, 8 clearances for Nick Dacos. 2 behinds. His best might still be to come. Adelaide's lead is a slender 2.
Try to set the ground up for you. There's one player, only one player in the defensive half, and it's Isaac Quainer. That's why. That's happening at both ends of the ground.
And he's half a kick behind the next player, isn't he? It goes in from Chris. Elliott comes in a rush. Worrell remains composed and considerate of the Schonberg Millerer. Skyball, but takes some territory. Contest in the air. Now on the ground. Dacos, Maynard, quickly on the left. Quickly into the 50. Elliott senses it was going to the back. And he reaches out in despair.
Clearly standing up.
He did well. Worrell, he took front position away from Elliott. He grabbed a handful of jumper. They've done this all night. The Crows' defence. They've been heroic. 62 inside 50s to 31. Exactly double. And yet Adelaide lead.
Worrell's kick to Phil Thorpe. Yes! He prevails.
Again, he's got to hold it up.
Yep. So you want to change of direction. You want to see your corridor maybe see something a little bit different. But the MO, conservative.
Outside 5.
Don't turn it over. Don't hand the footy back.
So play some uncontested footy and just chip it around.
That's horrible. So much risk. Crisp sets the moment. Brilliantly rectified by Curtin, though. What a tackle under the circumstances.
Not sure short kicks with this wet, slippery ball the smartest thing at this stage.
Yeah, not unless the player's really clear.
Yep.
You make a mistake, you make up for it, though. And that's what the young man did. Back underneath, Schiltz tried to get it to Houston. Soccer was the go, but long. Quickly, Dacos, not too long. Advantage paid. Hitley came around. Reconsidered to Keys, to Schonberg, still picking up the pace. Josh Dacos out of the tackle, survived it well. Houston, Nick Dacos, he survived it even better. Stayed with feet planted, runs to get it again from Long, who was tempted. Still he wants to get it forward from the side to Goey. Worrell low, it comes to Dacos. Taylor the kick for Schiltz, and then to Myercheck. Oh, what a smother from King. The Irishman does his team proud, does his country proud. The former Pie gets it to the line. Adelaide stay in front. They deny.
He's done everything tonight. Nah, Keane. That's a brilliant smother. Look at the commitment. Head over the ball, arms outstretched.
He's out of his nerve after a shaky start. He did make a few mistakes early, but he's played a great game.
Cameron back to long. There's a scoop. Quick kick. Houston, Worrell again. More tense moments, more Marqueen moments. Back to the wing. Here comes Quainer.
They're the two spares. There they are, the two spares at either end of the ground. Keane and Quainer. I like this. You've got to change it up at some stage.
No score this quarter through 13 minutes. It's fitting in some ways the way the rest of this game has played out. It's been a match in some ways that has mirrored the season. Collingwood making the running, Adelaide overtaking, and now the run to the line, the race to September. High ball into the pocket. Worrell again must have sore fists. This is the biggest AFL crowd ever at the Adelaide Oval.
And they're watching a unique game of footy that is an arm wrestle of the highest order here.
Not the sort of game anyone expected.
No, it is not.
Cameron got the jump. O'Brien equals. Back underneath.
I want one of these coaches to even up, Jason. I'm saying it. I want one to even up. Peatling come busting through the middle of the ground and couldn't kick the ball before.
I think Collingwood are going to force a goal. I think there's a goal or two coming with all this territory. Someone's going to take the opportunity.
Will it be side bottom after Long's handball? Blind handball. Worrell, he was game to take the kick. He's going to stay in the field of play. Elliott! Oh, how did he mark that? Yeah, he's a big kick, but he's not this big. Well, Dacos gives him some counsel about how he can put this together. Elliott runs. No, he's going to have to come back.
Don't tell me.
I'll tell you, he's kicked the goal.
No, he hasn't.
But he got there.
He's going to bounce.
No, Nick Dacos was interfering with the man on the mark.
So now he's had a look at it, and he's kicked it as hard as he could and dropped it 5 metres short. Oh, well, why not? If it goes off the side of the boot, it might just fall into the lap of someone who's not expecting it.
Do worse.
He's already kicked an incredible goal on a night like this, surely.
Maybe they win it on points.
Yeah.
Well, it's a Saturday night at the Fight Scale, isn't it? It's about that's going all the way.
The setup was elite. I mean, still side bottom from there is a good chance.
Yeah.
And they set it up, they were patient, he just didn't execute.
Feels like the coach has just been happy to keep the same system and get to the last 5 minutes and see you can make the most out of that under pressure at the end.
Bounces back to Rankin. Murphy, the heart of it is Houston. Dacos sliding, pushing, hoping. Schonberg. No headway at all for either team. Crisp with a speculator. Dawson whacks it to Fogarty. That works. Neil Bullen to Hinge. Suddenly he spied and felt never closing.
Great decision.
Oh, they're out.
Opens things up for Rankin. The path ahead is clear. Still have to execute. Moment of hesitation from Curtin. Driving ball downfield.
Gets lucky shield.
Yeah, he's the offender. He's the villain.
This is the play here. Phil Thorpe one out.
Here he comes. He's filthy.
Oh, yes.
Moore.
That's what they wanted from Darcy Moore. Take the responsibility. Don't be looking after everyone else's backyard. You defend one-on-one. There's the downfield there.
It's tough. It's just a diving tackle.
That's a great score. Look at that.
I just have to wait for it to arrive. Can get the hands out.
Been a long time since it's been down here for Adelaide.
Candlebury clears. Back to the wing. McStay a little further. A little closer as the grind continues. Berry, Miller slips one down the line. Rankin's got to go. Quainer. It rattles around. Pendlebury. Keys. A quick moment, a deep moment. Maynard and Walker. Neil Bullen. Houston. What can he conjure from there? Houston did well, wiped him out without infringing somehow.
How is the pressure at the moment?
12-5 inside 50s this quarter, so the pattern it continues. Big numbers for Collingwood, but they don't score from 12 inside 50s.
Nobody scored.
That's why too. Look at the pressure number.
17 minutes without a score. Cameron wasn't sure what to do. Pegling was! Pure from Pegling! Is that the golden goal?
I wonder should that throwing have been recalled.
You've thrown a little curveball in there too. Here's the Bunnings Warehouse build-up. Let's have a look at it.
We've seen short throw-ins before when the ruckman haven't been able to compete with it.
No, they're too far back. That's the ruckman's fault, I'd suggest. Now it's going to be interesting. Now we might see a bit of a change in the way that they set up here. So Phil Thorpe gets caught up in the run to the boundary throw-in, so doesn't get there. Ends up in Peatley's hands. 8 points is like 8 goals. Maybe now you've got to even up from a Collingwood point of view. Maybe now you've got to go, no, we can't afford to have Mark Keane just sit behind the footy and foil our forward attempts. Great goal from Peatling. Game in the balance. Might see something different here for the Magpies.
This is what they came for. An 8-point margin now to the Crows. The Pies with just 1 goal since quarter time. Berry sends it Adelaide's way again. Parker, nervous handball. Quainer, Perryman towards the line. You know what the crowd want? Oh, they don't get it.
Well, he was being tackled, he was being spun. I don't think he had any option whatsoever. Matthew Nix has got a wry grin on his face.
Oh, he can afford that for now.
Just look behind the footy here, and Adelaide again. They've got the loose behind the ball.
Thorpe at the front. Rankin. Wise target.
I don't know whether they can kick 2 goals if they allow Adelaide to have the +1 like they've had them all night.
You do a lot worse than have Phil Thorpe in the ruck as well. He's controlling things at the moment against McStay. He's really directing the ball wherever he wants it to go.
54,000 people have jammed into the Adelaide Oval. What a cauldron it is right now. Phil Thorpe, Dawson tries to step on through. Taylor Walker.
That would have brought the grandstand down there if Taylor Walker kicks that. So you're right, Jace, they look dangerous from stoppage. Now some more creative ball movement from Collingwood.
Side bottom to Moore. The urgency is apparent.
Great kick. Great kick.
Worth taking to Frampton. Cleverly along the line to Lipinski. You know what you're going to get from Pat Lipinski. 8 points is the margin right now. Onus is on Collingwood to half forward to McStay. Broke clear, got through to Myercheck. Neil Bullen where he should. Oh, time to go down. It was Smith whose wheels went from underneath him. Follow-up is good enough.
Now even numbers up, particularly ahead of the ball. So if they get a kick out of this stoppage, they can't have an outnumber.
Collingwood have kicked 1 goal in 80 minutes. They need 2 to win in 8. Up it goes. Keys, Parker.
Even numbers now. If you have a look down at this Collingwood forward line, here's the head clash.
Oh, bang.
Stave. You look at this Collingwood forward line now, there's no +1. It's 1-on-1 ahead of the ball.
We'll thought the tap, but doesn't amount to anything.
Yeah, he's getting his hands on everything in these ruck contests, Riley. Phil Thorpe. I don't know what Ned Long was doing there. He just went and pushed Hinge over with his back to the footy. Bizarre.
7:20 now with Mitch Hinge.
Great.
I saw him, this man. He's able to find him convincingly. Takes off Schonberg, feeding it wide to Cumming. A little further down the line. Berry's kick to the square at the back. Neil Bullen defended well by the Pies.
Now they start to eye off the corridor here. We know what Collingwood do when they're behind. They've been doing it for years. Ed Allen warms up. Bit of run maybe for the last 5 minutes.
Chance late, isn't it? Can you make your sub?
Yeah. They've been in such a lockdown mode. They've got to get it to the outside now.
Frampton bangs it up. Fist from Worrell.
Worrell and Keane, I know they've had the outnumber for all long, but they've been superb and they've had to defend 1-on-1, as Moore has done down the other end of the ground. We'll take a bit of a risk here, Jace. We'll try and flip this over the back. Got to get on the move. You're running out of time here.
Phil Thorpe the tap. McStay. McCreary. Soccer from Long. They edge into the 50. Murray couldn't find it, but he kept Myercheck out of it. Smith. Now the chase is on. Ball versus Magpie versus Crow. Well, no one touched it. Now they're tippy-toeing in. Moore shoots it out to Perryman. They're inside again. Crisp! He's got it!
How big's his kick now?
Jack Crisp, he's already gone through a big kick after the siren this year, and Who knows how pivotal that could be in their final ladder positions. This is not quite the same, is it? But it's not far off.
No, that's right. So he's take a deep breath now, go through his routine. This is what happens when you can get one-on-one end of the ball. Haven't looked like taking a mark inside their forward 50.
The man that just keeps on keeping on. Nothing can stop him getting out there for the Magpies. Through 260 games, he can still kick it 50 metres. Can he kick it 55? And they are alive! They are the Magpies. They are on the road. They are away from the comforts of home. But they are a club that never gives in when it's close. They have the will, they have the know-how, they have the means, but can they do it again?
There's a clever little toe from side bottom just to get the ball back in the advantage of his teammate. And then, as you said, Gaz, no marks inside 50, but when you finally do, you've got to kick it. Oh, just over the fingertip. You just had a sense that he would kick that, given the context of this game all night.
Floodgates have opened. There's been 2 goals kicked in his last quarter. So now do you go back? And how do Collingwood go back and Adelaide go back and get a +1 behind the ball?
5 minutes 40 out of the middle. Dawson with urgency, a renewed. Saligo, Murphy, Keys, Saligo.
Free kick.
It's a free kick, and it's Collingwood, so they're trying to take the advantage. It's
against Perryman. It's going to Murphy.
Gee, if they had linked up with that last hand pass, it's running into an open goal.
Pressure was good from Collingwood. They'd set up well defensively.
Murphy out to Worrell. Ignores the shorts.
Had an option.
Goes long. Phil Ford, yes! He's got it!
It was only a matter of time that the big fella was going to clunk one.
Look at the Crows fans, they're beside themselves.
One-on-one, Jason, no one.
He is a cult figure, this man. Can he produce the round-the-corner kick that will send this crowd into a frenzy?
He was a hero on the road last week in the final term, but he knows the magnitude of this kick. So much to process. What a mark. What a man. He's a different beast, this guy. There's beauty in that. The Crows by 9.
Finally gets a one-on-one inside forward 50. The game didn't allow, both coaches allowed the extra behind the ball, and maybe they were protecting them from this. As soon as he got Darcy Moore's side on, he was in the gut position here.
Well, in the end, I reckon it's a 1 against 2 because Tex doesn't engage. And in the end, he's got to work Darcy Moore under it and then mark it in front of Billy Frampton. He needs 2 of them.
Yeah, Darcy turns, as soon as Darcy turns his back or he gets him side on, he's in the gun position, and then Frampton can't come over the top. It's a big clutch mark at a big moment. It's 9 points. There's time. The 2 goals have been hard to come by. Great centre-bounce clearance.
Both teams have won 3 and lost 3 in games this year under 10 points. It rattles around in the middle. Dawson, every kick now, the execution is so important, and it wasn't as much care. Allen straight into it. Dacos's handball is disrupted. Coming, going hard. Quainer to De Goey, to half forward. Or Schultz! How does a man that size take a virtual uncontested mark inside 50?
I don't know if Josh Warren.
Oh, he hands it off. He hands it off to Dacos. Nick Dacos!
Oh, no!
The Dacos difference!
It's not a bad option when there's a kick that just has to go through. Give it to the best
Jason, you can't. You just can't do that, can you? All of a sudden, they're taking 2 marks inside forward 50. Worrell's been mopping everything up in this last quarter.
But he doesn't compete with this one. I don't know if he's waiting for a call or what he's waiting for.
Well, this is what happens, right? So you've had support all game. You've had a number to come in behind. Have a look at this give-off. Off 3 spaces, just inside forward 50. He kicks it when you can't miss. If you're going to have a chance to win the game, you can't miss from there. And Dacos doesn't.
And he handles to the outside, making the angle tougher.
What a centre-bounce. Dawson's been fantastic in this last quarter as well. Ned Long's got his hands on the footy in a big way.
Just his 3rd touch of the final term. What a touch it was. Back to 3. Out to De Goey. Berry sends it Adelaide's way. They wait for it to bounce. The apprehension grows. More, a handball. Beat everyone. Keys, Dacos, Saligo. Back to Dawson, wrong-sided. Handball, Pendlebury. Forward from Cameron. Nick back to Pendlebury. What two great singers from different decades together. To centre half forward, it's Elliott. The handball too rapid fire. Chris Tam was held. Kick away McCreary. The South Aussie back home. Dribbles it forward in the pocket. Murray, has he got a clear head? He got a clear handball. He'll pull him to Miller and back to the middle, the heart of the Adelaide Oval, and the heart of his team, Ben Keys.
That's a massive moment. Keys knew that he had to get there. A loose ball in the middle of the ground is turnover city. He made the meters up to take the mark.
Pressure so high. Pressure on the field. Pressure in the coach's box.
It's a long time to wind down 3 minutes. If you get an opportunity to attack and you think you can kick a goal, you've got to take it.
Well, they've had spares all night. Now Collingwood just got to close up. This is a good result for the Pies.
The lead is 3. Walker's judgment is almost perfect. Head gets thrown back. Umpire's not by. Dawson, great tackle from Allen. And now the follow-up from Moore and young Ed Allen. Had to wait all night for his opportunity. He's learnt to wait as a young man trying to get into this team.
Plenty of time on the clock. You get a feeling Collingwood will get a chance to win this game.
Well, Worrell's now gone back and he's spare behind the footy. He's a kick and a half away. You think Collingwood have got to even that up.
Jamie Elliott is one-on-one with young Hugh Bond.
They've got 2 loose now.
Worrell pushes back and makes that a 2-on-1.
De Goey to Short, spat it down. Rankin, Smith. Miller looking for a free. The umpires not convinced. Collingwood thought it could have been even holding the ball. 2 minutes 18. How are you coping?
So now De Goey goes down to even up and they drop another one.
Yep.
Adelaide by 3. All the elements of raw, tough, grinding sport. We await the climax. Saligo, Frampton versus Thilthorpe. Still no whistle. Frampton got a fingernail to it. Sometimes that's how close it is. Walker, Darcy Moore, the captain. Down the line.
Inside 2 minutes now. Everything's got to go right for Collingwood. So let's see how well set up Adelaide are behind the footy. They've got a spare in the deepest here. So they just want to keep this in close and in tight.
Stoppages are your friend. Don't want to knock it straight down. Keep it boundary side and get numbers around.
Adelaide by 3. 60 metres from their goal.
And this is what we've seen in recent weeks too. Players very clever. If a player's just looking for a stoppage, they won't affect the proper tackle. They'll let the umpire know that he's got an opportunity to get rid of the ball.
Collingwood have beaten Adelaide the last 10 times.
Here we go. Last chance, you'd think. 1:38 the clock.
Cameron gathers it all up to be ruckman. Right through the middle of the Adelaide Oval. Hands everywhere. Smith the veteran. Elliott the veteran. Neither giving an inch. Body's rolling over it.
Did you see how Elliott let go of him straight away, and then McStay was doing the same thing?
It's a good result because the spare for Adelaide was 2 kicks away, so they got it to a 1-on-1 here, got a stoppage and a chance.
60 metres from goal. Neil Bullen doubles that. Maybe an Adelaide chance. A minute 17. Frampton, the ex-Crow, secures it to Moore, the captain. 70 seconds left. Schultz was a shot at a fly. He flew. You got to go. Miller down the line. Advantage Adelaide. Over the boundary. 57. Oh, you can't do that.
That's a free kick.
You cannot do that,
That
Riley.
should be a free kick against.
Wow, you get away with it. I was looking down the other end of the ground.
He towed it away afterwards.
And it is deliberate. That is deliberate. That is a free kick.
That's a free kick all day long.
A free kick.
Exactly what he was complaining about at the end of the Hawthorn game. Back in motion, grabbed by Pendlebury, sends it forward. 50 seconds. Listen to that roar.
Here we go. This is it.
They'll get a chance here.
De Goey down the line deep.
Myercheck, Collingwood's last chance. It's markable. It's fisted away. It's crisp. It's shut down.
Great
Shut
tackle.
down, turn off.
So let's watch Penrith. Let's watch Dawson organise here.
Sweeper deep for the Crows, back in the goal square.
28 seconds, 65 metres, 2 kicks. That wasn't one from Houston. There's one from Pendlebury. Deep. Not quite Elliott. Still waiting for someone. Anybody. Miller pulled it out of there. Dawson takes the mark. Dawson takes the mark. Collingwood are on the win without a prayer. And in the city of churches, Adelaide are now waiting for September. A night they'll never forget.
Extraordinary games that I've been at, that we've been at, and it comes down to moments in the end, and there's plenty of those that are going to get ripped apart. We're going to look at a stat sheet that just doesn't make any sense.
No, I cannot fathom that you can get beaten in the inside 50s 71 to 37 and find a way to win the game. Extraordinary.
The Adelaide Crows are on top of the AFL ladder, and they're going to host the home final with a double chance. That's the bottom line here, and they've beaten their nemesis by 3 points.
The Collingwood curse is broken, and it's all clear for September. And we'll let you smile, Mark Prosciutto.
That was just a grind all night, wasn't it?
We've had a few of these. The crowd's unbelievable, mate. We've had a few of these kind of wet, slippery nights. Makes for a great contest. I mean, it was hot all night, and obviously they started well, and we were able to wrest the momentum back. It's a bloody good game.
Record crowd ever at Adelaide Oval.
Mate, I saw that, 54,000, unbelievable, mate. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Rain, hail, shine, they rock up, mate, and it's good that we're actually finally winning for them and shifting the tide a little bit.
15th last year, and now you've got top 2 sewn up.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting, mate. I mean, it was such a tight race in the finals. Obviously going into the finals, the competition's so tight, so we didn't want to look past that, but yeah, to sew that up, it's pretty nice, mate.
Hadn't beaten Collingwood since 2016. How much was talked about during the week that had to try and beat your bogey side?
Yeah, it wasn't talking about heaps during the week, but definitely with pre-game, we wanted to really show that we can beat these guys, and obviously we've had great games, and they're a fantastic team, and I've admired the way they've gone about it the last few years, so it's nice to knock them off. 71 inside 50s for Collingwood. The defence at Adelaide has been rock solid. Yeah, it'd be nice to give them a bit more reprieve down there, mate. I think their mids got on top of us early, but yeah, I mean, they've been rock solid. Led by Keeney and Woz, they've been unbelievable, and all the boys, Smithy and Bondi coming back in, they've just come in and played their role, and it's exactly what we need.
Go and enjoy the win, mate. Well done.
Thanks, sir.
The Adelaide fans can breathe.
I'm still in disbelief. I'm in genuine disbelief at the weight of forward 50 ball that the Pies had. Have a look at this now. If they beat North Melbourne next week, the Crows, they sew up the minor premiership.
Or if Geelong lose to Sydney, so Sydney win tomorrow, that'll be wrapped up. Either way, they're going to be hosting a qualifying final here out of the wilderness after 7 years, 6 seasons.
They are going to host. You don't want to come here and play Adelaide this year. We've said that for the last half of the year. And now the team that can come here and win doesn't quite get the job done. So they are in the best position possible. Matthew Nicks couldn't help himself. Let's go down to a man that he had big moments in the last quarter, Eddie.
Yes, he did. I'm down here with the man of the moment who basically won the game for the Adelaide Crows, mate. How good was that game?
Oh, unbelievable. That's what you want to play as a kid, these sort of games. And I thought boys really stood up, especially the back six. I thought Fogg and Tex were great. There's a real even contribution, which is nice.
And did they speak about, coming into this game, about the Collingwood having the wood over Adelaide Crows and talking about now is the chance to get one back on them?
Yeah, absolutely. They're a great side and they have been for years. So unfortunately, they've got us done the last 10 or so times, I think. So it's great to get a win and win in the way we did, which is really pleasing.
And yourself, we saw last week you hurt your neck. Everything all right tonight?
Yeah. Bit of carry on for me. Bit sore, but I'll be all right. Carry on.
And it's great with the Adelaide faithful when they turn out like this. It was loud here tonight, and it's a record crowd here tonight.
Unbelievable. We've got the best fans in the league, and to hear them up and about and have 54,000 or something here is unbelievable. So such a good feeling, such a good vibe.
And with that win, I reckon you sewed up first or second spot, mate. What's the feeling around the club at the moment? You guys are absolutely flying.
Yeah, we're very confident. We know our roles. We trust each other to get them done. So it's a great place to be. A lot of fun and just very confident.
Oh, right out, mate. Congrats on an awesome game and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
So still some things we need to talk about, Gaz. He had a big last quarter, 6 possessions, 2 contested marks and a goal. Did some great ruck work. But how he gets away with this, I don't know how all the umpires miss this. This is time wasted. So he's punched it out of bounds to start with, but then he's looking at it and toes it off the ground. That's not by accident. There are umpires all around him and they don't pay it.
I think it's the non-free of the year. And now whether he's trying to kick it up to himself or not's irrelevant. You've kicked the ball away at a critical time of the match, and you just have to say that the umpire either, I won't say, he didn't blow the whistle on there. There's a lot of moments there. You're going to go back to the Keys non-hand.
There's been a couple of. Let me tell you this. So 71 to 37 inside 50s, right?
Yep.
Minus 34 inside 50s is the Crows' worst result for 10 years, and they've beaten one of the top sides in the comp.
Yeah. Well, the coaches could. I can't get my head around Jason. So let's just make that. But coaches contributed.
I know Jason can't.
The coaches contributed to it. They let the game be played in a manner that allowed territory, particularly at one end, and then the other didn't even up.
Let's just take a moment for Matthew Nicks. I mean, he stayed firm all the way through. Remember the early comments as the coaches don't survive the rebuild, and he's had some moments as much as mid last year. They were in all sorts of trouble, beaten by Richmond, and the natives were more than restless. All those times they were out. They were the easy beats back in 2020 during COVID. It was so tough. The club had faith in him. They re-contracted him even though there was pressure on. And now they are reaping the benefits.
We'll be back here in the next few weeks, and he's got a live chance of taking a team a long, long way. This is a very, very good footy side. Let's not forget that Collingwood lost no fans tonight.
But they have lost 5 of the last 6, and that makes their September task all the more difficult. We'll take just a short break to absorb it all, and we're back here. What a night it has been. The football and for the Adelaide Crows. It's a different city when the Crows are up and around. 5 points down at quarter time. This is a heck of an achievement. Worth repeating. 15th to 1st. That's the way it will be, as long as they take care of North Melbourne next week.
Guaranteed home final, first final here. What they do with that, then they could have two. And they could be there. That's getting ahead of ourselves, I know, given the nature of this season. This is not a great footy club yet. This is a very, very good footy club. And they're beautifully positioned, Jace.
Oh, it's extraordinary. It's one of the most improbable wins based on some of the numbers that you look at that you could ever think of. But we've seen them do it a couple of times in the space of a few weeks now where the game's gone against them. They've managed to fight back steady and then win a tight one. And all that's doing is building the level of confidence in this group to reach bigger heights come September.
I reckon they will enjoy this song. Soak it all in, or let it all out. It's the Crows, the top of the footy world.
Brought to you by Toyota. Don't send a ute to do a Hilux job. David King, Jack Rewalt, Jay Clark. The Adelaide Crows, they have beaten Collingwood by 3 points in front of 54,000 at Adelaide Oval. The Crows won't just be playing finals for the first time since 2017. They will be hosting a qualifying final. What a game.
Oh, they're great to watch. They've just got match winners that want to take their responsibility for their football team. I love that. And I think that when you look at what they're building down back, there's a real steely nature to some of the guys. They just love being involved in collision and contest. And I talk about Worrell, Keane, Millerer. These are guys that are not household names. And I think it's the best version of the Adelaide Crows. The no-name back six, just getting it done.
The question is, how far can they go? Obviously, haven't played finals under Matthew Nicks, but their game style stood up. They were challenged in the first quarter and were lucky to be as close as what they were, but then they were able to just grind their way back. The first 10 minutes of that second quarter really got them back in the game there, and it was the game sort of went into a bit of a lull, and then finally we got some electric footy with about 15 minutes to go, and they were going toe-to-toe with the Pies.
How far can they go? They can win it, can't they, Jay?
Oh, well, now, I mean, they've got the rails run. As you say, top two, they should go home first final, home preliminary final. Going to be so hard to beat there on their own deck. And, you know, you touch on the finals experience there, Jack. That was like a final. That's got to count as some sort of big game finals experience. And under the heat, they stood up.
Oh, I love their last 3 weeks. So 14-point win over the Hawks in a great game. They had to find a way against the Eagles and did. It was a scrap all night, won by 9 points. And this is terrific. Just for know-how, situational training. What do we need? I'm going to get back to that. I thought Tex Walker was enormous tonight. Some of the things that he does to help those around him. It reads his 13 disposals, but he's more than that. This guy I know you want to chat about in more detail in a moment, Jack, but you've got to create that crazy winning feeling. And that's what it is. What do we need at this moment? What does the team need me to do? And they had guys making the right decisions more often than not.
And the hottest ticket in town is 54,000 people getting along to watch them. The crowd is a legit, 19th man over there. It is an amazing culture, and the boys are so lucky to call the game live, and you can see what it means to them. It was a fantastic game.
Let's head down into the change rooms and talk to that man, the coach of the Adelaide Crows, Matthew Nicks. Nixie, congratulations, firstly. What is going through your mind right now? Because we saw a fair bit of emotion from you following the final siren. What a game.
It's hard not to be. Unfortunately, when there's a record crowd in the house and they're screaming and going nuts, it's hard to walk down those stairs at the end and not get excited. So, yeah, we've been on the other end of that, these games with Collingwood for too long, and we knew we'd get one eventually. And probably look at I've got the stats in my head. I'll probably look at some of the stats inside 50s and how did we hang on? But it was grit. The boys just dug in deep, and in the end we sort of tapped them out, which was great.
The one stat I wanted to ask you about, if I had have told you pre-game you're going to lose the inside 50 count 71-37, what would you have thought?
I wouldn't have cared as long as we won by a kick. We'll go back and we'll review it. We'll have a good look. And I mean, they're a very good side. I thought they played better than we did tonight as far as their game goes. We didn't hit our best game at all. I think we've seen that. across the year we have had a few games where we come off the ground, we go, wow, can we play any better than that? But the last couple of weeks we've been a little bit off and still been able to get the job done. So that's probably the most pleasing part is we've learnt to win a different way again tonight and against a very good opposition.
Nixie, you lock away a top 2 spot. What does that mean to you personally? You've been at the Adelaide Crows now for 6 years. This will be your first finals series as senior coach. It must be special to you right now.
Yeah, it is, because you go back to the first thing we spoke about, 54,000 and something home final. As you mentioned before, it's the 19th man for us there. They were huge tonight. I don't get the privilege of sitting out. It's not quite as loud in the coaching box as what it is outside, but it was nuts. And they get our guys, they get us over the line. It's a lot tougher game being under that sort of pressure if you're not at home. And so our supporters were huge tonight. And, winning tonight gives us that, I think there's some percentage still that has to work through, but we're in a good position anyway.
Must be having some audio problems, Nixie. I asked you how you were feeling, mate, about what you've done in your first final series as coach.
I'm fatigued. The biggest emotion's pride, and I'm incredibly proud of them, have been for years. It's nice now for them to be getting what they deserve. When a group of guys, not just players but staff and a footy club goes to work and we're all connected and we're on the same page, and you get what you deserve in sport. And there's no doubt our guys have been working really hard for a long period of time. We didn't just get lucky this year. We've done a lot of work to be in this position, so it makes me really proud that I'm able to stand back and smile with a lot of our supporters and our players and our staff and enjoy a really big moment.
There's some incredible scenes we're just seeing there of you celebrating post-game. But Nixie, at quarter time coming down 5-1, the Pies really jumped you off the back of a poor performance from them against Hawthorn last week. What was the message at quarter time?
It was a little different to the Hawthorn one, to be honest. It was we actually knew what we were getting wrong without going into any detail, because we don't want to give too much away, but we had a key area of the game that we just didn't get right, and allowed their weapons, in the Dacos, Pendles. Pendles had a quarter that if you give him that many opportunities, he's going to really hurt you. And the team, they got on top of us. And so we were able to look at that, adjust that really quickly. That was probably the most pleasing part. It wasn't a hard fix. It wasn't something we didn't know. It was just, could we execute it? Could we go out and execute it? And to the boys' credit, we did that, and not only executed, we actually scored it when we had our opportunities off the back of that. So that was pleasing.
Nixie, what about that Riley Thilthorpe mark and goal late? It was a huge moment. He's clearly playing under some sort of duress with that neck or shoulder, the Liam Duggan bump last week. You must have so much admiration for him, and how hindered is he by that neck or shoulder issue?
Oh, I think he's okay. I mean, it's one that keeps popping up a little bit here and there, but he never gives up. He's and guys like Riley don't get any shorter as the game goes on, as others get fatigued. So, the work that he's done on his game, and it's every key forward that comes in, or key forwards ruck. It takes a little bit of time for those guys to mature and develop. But he's been huge. He's been a pro from day one. As we knew it would take a little bit of time, and right now I think he's highly respected around the league for the way he goes about it. He just puts his body on the line, gets himself in line with the footy and goes at it. And late, that was a massive mark, as you said, and to be able to finish it off, important for us.
Nixie, just lay your guns down for a minute and just let us behind the curtain a little bit. It is a special moment for the footy club and yourself to be sitting top of the table at this stage of the season. Like, this is a big day for your football club.
Yeah, but a very experienced man told me we haven't achieved anything yet. His name is Alex Neil-Bullen. And so when you bring guys like that into the club and you're able to sit down and share experiences they've had, Murray Davis, the experiences they've had, we haven't achieved anything yet. Yeah, I hear you, Kingy, and you're going to say, stop it, Nixie, stop it. We're not here to finish top after, with one round to go. We're here to have a real crack at it. Tonight's great, and we will celebrate it, and we deserve to enjoy it, but one of our biggest things this year has been to move on real quick. The moment's gone, the next moment's here, so we start getting prepped for what that next moment is.
I don't want to put a dampener on the night, but you picked up a couple of injuries post-game. I'm not sure if you've seen this vision. Just wondering how you're going to handle it without these two next week against North.
That's the boys. I was wondering, there were some tears at the end there. There's a little hiccup. I think it's a tough one too, because you'll notice he got a 35 on one cheek. And I reckon Texas shared that. His favourite player is Nick, and he's met him once, and Nick's an unbelievable human, and so he made him almost half barrack for Collingwood. But maybe that's a bit of karma coming back to him.
Michael Christian's already rang through it. He's been off for 2 weeks.
That'd be right.
We'll let you go. Nixie, thanks so much for your time, and congratulations. An amazing season by the Crows so far.
I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Cheers.
From 15th to 1st in 12 months. And when you look at his 6 seasons in charge, 18th, 15th, 14th, 10th, 15th and now 1st. So the first time under Matthew Nix, they'll be finishing in the top 8, and they're finishing probably, most likely, on top, but definitely top 2.
It's been an incredible rise. I remember chatting to him prior to the Gold Coast game, the first time they played them up there, and we asked him what's been the evolution of his group. And he actually said taking the hands off the steering wheel and not micromanaging the football club and allowing people to come into their roles. I think Murray Davis, who you see on screen, is the man sitting to Matthew Nix's right, has been a massive pick-up for them. He's come across from the Brisbane Lions, but all their leaders are buying into this culture, and this is a culture of winning now.
Also, Alex Neil-Bullen. He's been an incredible recruit. They always mention Alex Neil-Bullen, and you see him in those pivotal moments, his experience, what he adds.
I wonder if Melbourne had their time again, Simon Goodwin had their time again, whether they'd press go on that trade, because of the impact he could have not only in the wing, but on the culture and the leadership. They pump him up all the time. I was at pick 25 for him, and the way Melbourne's season spiralled this year, I wonder whether next time they might sort of stand up a bit stronger on it, because his impact on that football club, as you said, has been enormous. But the backline performance too, 71 inside 50s. Yeah. We were talking pre-game, Kingy, like Mark Keane and Murray, like they're not superstars back there, but that's a superstar performance tonight.
Yeah, and they lean on one another, and you can go a long way playing as a group rather than 6 individual stars. I love what they've done behind the ball, and they've done it all year. I mean, their greatest weapon is without the footy. And everyone talks about Rankin and Thilthorpe and Tex and all these guys, Dawson, but their work without the footy is the best in the comp. That's why they're where they are. It's always been the secret to success, but it's hard to get players to buy in to when you haven't got the ball.
You can chuck Max Michelani into that list as well. He's one of their best one-on-one lockdown defenders, medium types as well. Mitch Hinge is a guy that just gets the job done. And I think having that, I'm going to say, no-name backline has actually allowed them to buy into the system that provides that brick wall behind for then the offence to get going.
71 inside 50s conceded today. It's just a stunning stat, isn't it, from this evening's game and the results. Let's get to our Ashley and Martin turning point, shall we? And this was your man, Riley Thilthorpe, and this sore neck, which he had last week as well. But, as he says, post-game, bit of carry-on.
Yeah, well, sometimes you've just got to get up and play. And I think, quite simply, Riley just said, I'm a big boy. It's raining, it doesn't suit me as well, and I need to get out here and play. And he played in that second half like a man possessed and was one of the most important players, the highest rated player in the last quarter. And you can see, you spoke about his ruck dominance, King, but this moment here in the last quarter, this is the moment of a superstar. This is a man that is going to be a bona fide key forward, full forward superstar of this competition for the next decade. And he stood up exactly when he needed to do it. He had a quiet first half, but I reckon there was a point in time where he said, this game is here for the grabs and I'm going to do it. And it was a fantastic moment there late and a game-winning moment, Ashley turning point as well.
So we'll get to the Collingwood discussion shortly, but after watching the Brisbane Lions last night, watching Adelaide Crows tonight, Collingwood were much better this evening too. Who are your flag favourites right now? Do you have any wiser sitting here tonight?
Any wiser? Oh, look, very rare for a team to go into a final series for the first time and win it. But you just feel there's something different about this group. And Matty Nix is, I just feel like there's something special about Matty Nix. And we've talked about him, and I think he's done a great job with this group, but the results haven't been there. A brave footy club to stick with him and keep rolling the way they have. I don't think anyone in their wildest dreams had them top of the table where they are right now and playing the football they were playing. You were
of the opinion that these coaches usually don't survive.
They don't survive. The rebuild coach. And it was a different sort of rebuild, a club in serious turmoil when he took over. So they had a lag period at the start, which he had to work his way through. And I mean, you were across that totally. So I just think what he's done in building stability and then a platform for this group to step forward. They've targeted the right players in the off-season. There are no real holes in the way they play.
But can they come to the MCG the last Saturday in September and win it here? Can they go all the way down?
Anything can happen grand final day. They have got that. Now that they've secured the top 2 finish, they've got a great run in. They've got potentially 2 home finals, and if they get to the MCG with the way they play, that could really suit them. Them and Geelong have had a softer draw coming home, are the only 2 teams that haven't had a big slip up that sit currently in the top 8. The other teams have sort of fallen away and had a poor performance against a competitor in the top 8. Adelaide have just won. And last week, they just did enough to win against West Coast. Granted, it was first v 18th, but tonight this is just another confidence step in the ladder for Matthew Nix's team. I believe that they can win the flag this year.
You get the feeling that the story, though, as you said, is Matthew Nix tonight, Jay, and what he's achieved. And we smash coaches when things aren't going right, but we've got to applaud them. When you see what he's done in his 6th season, it's quite incredible.
At the start of the year, the story was, if they don't make finals under him, he is gone. Now, that is a guillotine over a coach's head at the start of the season, isn't it? But they've lent into it, and they've built a game style and a discipline. You talk about the cohesion off the ball that you say, Jack, he can go all the way. So what an absolute credit. Now, Adelaide will be looking to re-sign Matthew Nix for the long term, you would think.
Yeah, in the end, for me, it was their preparedness to be brave with the ball. So the small margin game, they get 21 points from defensive half. And now, I'm not going to say he meant that original kick, but the scramble play after it is exactly what you want. You've got your team set the chessboard as you want it, and then away we go. So this is classic Matty Nix. He's the doctor of ball movement. We've talked about that for a long period of time. He knows how he wants it to move and how he wants to stop the opposition. Now, this is an errant kick, but the mindset to pull it back in there would be rewarded and enhanced by Matthew Nix in the post. I guarantee he's mentioning that kick in the post-game meeting. Brave enough to take it on and brave enough to separate the game. So in the end, it's out of the back half, it's 21 points to 8. That's the gap in the game. They're the easiest types of scores because you're going to an open forward line. So this group's got something. There's something there. It's hard to necessarily put your finger on what it is, but there's a belief and a system that's different to the rest.
They just look well coached to the eye. I think that's, for me, I look at them and go, I reckon they just look organised behind the ball. Yeah, there you see a great turnover, fantastic tackle by the sub there as well in Schonberg, but I just think they look well coached.
And let's not forget, Nasiah Wanganeen-Malira, the most in-demand player in the league, is watching that tonight, thinking they're a genuine option, Adelaide. Imagine what he would add to them as well. That'll be a story that plays out post-season.
We'll probably have to ship out half the players to cover his wage.
I loved Matthew Nick's quote of, you get what you deserve in sport, and maybe they're finally getting what they deserve. The Adelaide Crows home qualifying final locked in. Let's switch our discussion, though, to Collingwood. And I think this was a really good performance by the Pies, and they'll take so much from this. You know, you say sometimes you gain more from your losses, but there's been so much discussion about Collingwood and are they on the slide? Well, that just arrests that conversation for now.
Yeah, I thought they were terrific. I really did. To me, they just lack a little bit of composure in the forward half. How are they bringing it in? Where are they going? I think at times in games like this, it's hard to find the small full forward. And you see the gap in the game is Thilthorpe takes a big mark, a big key forward out of the goal square, bang. I think Elliott out of the square has to be a bit too pure when you bring the ball in. And then it becomes a scramble play really quickly. So I just think they need to do something with their forward line to change it up a little bit. I'm not saying he's out of the team or anything. He just plays a different function because they're not getting full reward.
They'd love to get Bobby Hill back.
Yeah.
So he will train this week. He needs a big week on the track. He missed a session this week with a family commitment. The week before it was that gastro with some illness. So they need to get the volume into his training load, and hopefully he'll press for selection against Melbourne at the weekend. He is an ace up the sleeve, but they got the intensity intensity back around the ball. The pressure was the big thing. They say when they get the pressure around the ball, the rest of their game flows from that. But it was some of that finishing which probably let them down.
Yeah, we spoke about their predictability at the start of the game, that they'd become a bit too slow. They looked really slow and straight last week against Hawthorn. Well, we saw a little bit early, and this was a play earlier on where you can see this is Collingwood from that 2023 era where just fast-paced off the back half, generating scores from here. Handball receives are critical with this. Josh Dacos, he had a quiet night, but this is a fantastic bit of play. And they get it forward and lead up. And this is where Jamie Elliott does come into his own this time. It's Lachie Schultz who takes the mark and gets it on to Tim Membry. They are the more lead-up type forward. But here, this is just the long style of play that we saw a lot of last week against Hawthorn. It started to come in the mid part of the game, just hitting it along again and not being creative with the ball. And I think Craig McRae's got some examples there to say this is us at our absolute best. And clearly, 5 goals to 1 in the first quarter, 24 inside 50s out of the 71 that they had came in that period of the game. And that's when they looked their most damaging with the ball, other than the last 5 minutes when the heat gets turned on. We know Collingwood are a fantastic team late in games when they try and win it. There's a little bit there, I think, offensively for them to take away.
There are still issues, but are you a little less concerned after tonight about Collingwood?
Less concerned? No, I think there's still significant concerns. They still rely on the same 3 to 4 players, and who else is likely to bob up of the rest? I'm desperate to see a McStay have a big game or a Mychek have a big game, and just be that presence forward of the ball. Nick's doing everything he can. Cameron's doing everything he can. Pendlebury's still doing it. It's just left to too few at the moment. They need a Bobby Hill to be a wild card. They need a McCreary to go crazy for 20 minutes. But they really haven't had that. And until they get someone do that, I think it'll be these types of performances.
Could it be Jordan De Goey, or is he? Are we putting sort of not a line through him, but he just looks underdone, Jordan De Goey, for mine.
Well, he is. I mean, that's the reality, isn't it? He is underdone. But he's out there because they've got to have a throw at the stumps. They've got to play him.
You know the story Craig McRae will be selling to his troops. Last week he pulled out the stick and gave a big clip. On the back of that, he'll be trying to bring them up. He'll be pumping them up because they've got Melbourne this week and they head into September. So he'll be trying to lift them on the back of that.
What would you ask him if you're at the press conference, which we'll take live shortly?
You haven't been to one for a while.
I'm here.
Do you know what a press conference is?
He's the chief football writer now. He doesn't go to press conference.
Got a very comfy chair in here with us.
Well, you'd love to know what was the breakdown. You know, with 70 inside 50s, you should be winning a game of footy. So, yeah, you guys touched on it before, but what happened forward of the ball? What do they need to fix up there to genuinely progress and go deep in September?
Maybe Nick Dacos has a few answers. He's with Mark Rasciuto.
Thanks, Kath. We've got Nick Dacos here. Nick, that was a tough loss. You gave it a good crack, though.
No, absolutely. I thought it was a really good game, good contest from both teams, and unfortunately couldn't quite get over the top of Adelaide, who obviously is such a strong team this year. So we'll take a lot from the game, but I think it was a really positive game for both teams.
First quarter, you had a crack, 5 goals to 1 on the road. The pressure was really high.
Absolutely, yeah. I think we came out with the intent of sort of attacking them and putting them on the back foot, but the rain came and I thought we sort of went a bit more defensive. Adelaide opened us up a little bit more, so it's something to look at.
Efficiency going inside forward 50 was again a trouble tonight, and you've been the 18th best side of that over the last month or so. What do you need to do to tidy that up?
Oh, it's probably just on the midfield. I think the forward line set up really well, so probably just on us to tidy up a few things and get to work. And we've got such a dynamic forward line, so if we can get them out in space, no doubt we'll be a better team.
The crowd were pretty loud today. That was a record for Adelaide Oval. You're used to big crowds at the MCG. Was it any different? How did it feel?
No, it was an awesome atmosphere. I think the Adelaide fans made it feel a little bit hostile. It was awesome to come on the road, and the fans are going crazy at the end, which is a credit to them because their team's playing great footy.
Big game now, Melbourne next week.
Absolutely, yeah. Melbourne always play really well against us and they've been playing well the last couple of weeks. So, no doubt we'll go to work on a few things this week and come out strong.
All right, good luck, mate, and have a good finals.
Thanks, Drew. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Good of him to give us some time. How do you think Craig McRae now tackles this?
Yeah, it's a real fascination for me. He's normally a super positive guy, but they've lost 5 of their last 6. You know, you want to enter this part of the season ramping it up, really building potential to rest some players if you need to, and not sort of fixing problems on the run. So there are some concerns, and how he handles this next couple of weeks are critical now. He hasn't been in this position before.
We've seen Happy Craig.
It's his greatest coaching challenge right now.
I think it is. I think to get this group back to playing, dynamic footy.
Since he said we've got 1,000 minutes left in the season, it clearly hasn't gone to plan. You talk about management. What about Adelaide next week? They got North Melbourne at Marvel Stadium. We see Phil Thorpe with that shoulder issue. Do they rest a couple or do they go full throttle? How do they confront it? Because they got the pre-finals bye as well. What do they do against the Kangaroos?
Any issue, any soreness, you're not playing. Just take the decision off the table. In a lot of ways, a meaningless game. These guys are trained within an inch of their lives. They can miss a week of footy on the way into a finals. And some will say that's flirting with your form, but they've earned this right. They've earned the right over the first 24 weeks of the year. So I would allow them that luxury.
Do you agree with that?
Oh, I think the balance is the fact that they're going to have the week in between the finals, and then if they win, there's another week off. So then you're going into a grand final potentially playing only 3 games of footy. It is a risk.
Played 22 games of footy, Jack.
I'm saying that if he's 85% right, I'd be playing him. Anything under that, I'd be resting him out if I was Riley Philthorpe especially.
Shall we hear from Craig McRae? He's about to address the media at Adelaide Oval following this 3-point loss in front of 54,000 fans. Here's Craig McRae.
Is that part of the soft cap?
Can you help us with the numbers, or
yeah,
do we ignore it because of the way in which it was just so difficult for you to score when you've got that dominance inside 50?
Yeah. There's a win territory. Difficult to move the ball in conditions. Set the ground up really well behind it, and then when you go back in, there's high density. So that's real, and we've had that against Freo too. Dominant inside 50s and then can't connect or don't score, but. The reality of that style of game is Lee Matthews' old way he'd say it was it's going to be hard for us to score and make it impossible for them, and that we lived that for most of the night. The inside 50 number says that. We've got some work to do on our connection inside 50s. But again, it's hard. It's wet conditions, trying to kick it to contest, then try to get to forward 50 stoppages. I think we had 39 forward 50 stoppages or something like that. Kick 3 points. So you got to find other ways to score. That's the numbers, but we sit here, we didn't get the 4 points, but internally we know we're heading in the right direction.
Is that encouraging after the past few weeks, the effort and the way you started, an encouraging sign for you?
Yeah, I think so. I think put the jumper on this week. There's a lot more pride in the way we went about it. Small margins, little moments. Fighting right to the end when the scoreboard sort of got away from us a couple of times. Then we found a way to get the scoreboard back closer. Internal belief that game was there for us to win, and numbers were suggesting that we dominant in clearance and all these other things. So, we didn't quite get the 4 points, but again, we leave here not with a tail between our legs.
Did you feel like you should have been further ahead of quarters time?
No, I thought that was about the right margin. The kick on the siren helped. I thought we had dominance, and the game was a bit different when it wasn't wet. We could move the ball, change the angles. You could mark the ball a bit easier. We started where we needed to, though. We needed to. We'd worked all week. I was really proud of our coaches. Putting some things in front of the players that wasn't good enough for us around our system and around our effort, and it's really pleasing we can turn it around. Have we got more work to do? Absolutely, but again, I think we're heading in the right direction.
So from the outside, we've all been wondering where you're at because of those losses, or whether you were preparing for something else later in the year. But on the inside, what has been the reality of your form line?
Sorry, which part of the last? No, I thought we were playing some really good footy and just not quite getting the job done. Gold Coast, we kicked 10 points before we kicked a goal. Fremantle, we dominate a lot of the play with 20-odd points up, lose by a point. Bounce back against Richmond, and then we had a good half against Brisbane and had to pull a quarter and a half, and then we had a really bad game against Hawthorn, a good opposition, and make most teams look silly if you don't turn up. We had to bounce back this week, and I think we turned the narrative around internally again, that we think that stuff will stack up. There's an energy for that'll stack up.
You also played 3 games in 11 game days, and then you get this proper 9-day rest. So we almost throw that out and go, tonight, this is the kind we should expect to show up.
Well, I was hoping someone. I don't want to make excuses, but we do the maths. 3 games in 12 days. There's going to be a cost somewhere, and our performance is well below par, and we don't want to use excuses. But when we have more time to prepare, we like to think we can get the type of performance we had tonight. But that's not always going to be the case. We've got to turn up. But we've got 6 days now to get ourselves ready to play Melbourne and control our own narrative.
If Adelaide does stay the same, it's a big hit with all the various complexities, but you're back here in week 1 of the finals.
That'd be good, huh?
Do you feel comfortable coming back here? Do you feel like you can absolutely...
There's an energy that we're good enough. Doesn't matter who we play, where we play. There is an energy for that when we play a certain way. And, our pressure was enormous tonight. We had 20-odd more tackles. Clearance stuff improved. We worked on that. Had to get that right. Got more territory from that. And then, there's always something to work on. You're always getting feedback on your game and our connection inside 50 in tricky conditions. I think we got some things we can improve. I was just saying in the rooms, when you have a close loss, you think about moments and go, if only that didn't happen, or if we did that. I don't have many of those. I'm not sure if you do. But I'm sitting there going, we gave everything right to the end, and they were just a fraction better in moments. And I don't have any what ifs or if onlys though. Yeah, I'm not thinking that.
You spoke then a couple of times about the system. Years ago when we'd asked about those close wins, you say we believe in the system, they know the system, they play it.
Yep.
Are they needing to still believe in that system, or is the system needing to change because everyone else is caught up with what you were doing?
No, I think the game is you've never got that handle. There's no way you can say, you're going to get this happen all the time. But again, we went into certain modes of transport there with the ball, and we scored late in the game when we had to keep us close. And then at the end, there's again small margins, lots of density around the ball, and it was a hard game. It was a finals type game that I think will serve both teams well. And credit to them. That, I think they're minor premiers now. Congratulations. They had a fantastic year. Matty Nix has done a great job. I'm a big fan from afar of Matty Nix and the job he's done here to build this team. And it's a huge achievement for the Adelaide Crows, and puts them in a good place.
What is it about this matchup that keeps bringing these close ones? 6 in a row, I think.
No, it's our first loss here for a while. So, I think there's really quality matchups and styles that challenge each other. We want to keep the game open at times and then close it down, and they want to do a bit of the same. It was a real tactical battle tonight. I think both teams were prepared to have an extra at times, and which made it hard to score, but that was sort of serving us well in terms of territory. Not sure if that'll be the case in the future.
You're used to having the crowd with you over the line. Do you feel, I know it's a cliche sometimes, but given how one-sided the support was with a few thousand travelling customers, do you feel that can give Adelaide a lift?
I think it always helps, doesn't it? Like, you got the crowd roaring for you, roaring against you, that whether the umpires sort of get affected by that's real. But I don't think it affected the game, any of that. There's a period in the second quarter, we knew that they'd come. Watching them historically in the last period, that they have patches, they go bang, 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 and they mostly put a margin in opposition. We were determined not to have that tonight. So they got 2 or 3 goals in a row. We felt we stabilised the game for about 15 minutes. No one scored. And I think that was an important part of the game, going at half-time just fraction down, because 54,000 screaming for you creates a lot of energy. We thought we played that game well tactically.
You said there wasn't that what-if moment that you usually get in a close game. Are you believing, though, I get this chance again, but you might do in a couple of weeks, a couple of things you'd like to do differently? So you've already got that in mind?
Well, the connection piece is one. Have that many inside 50s, you'd love to score more. The forward 50 stuff, you'd love to think, 39, surely kick a goal. Surely there's a free kick, or there's someone's hanging on like Rankin did. Those things happen when you have that much territory. And I watch the tape to add a couple more. If we're back here, I don't want to give them everything we're going to work on.
That personnel role's great. Do we have that next week? Is there any other?
No, we're pretty healthy at the moment. No injuries at VFL, no injuries here at this stage. Howie should be available through protocols. Bobby's getting better every day. Not sure he'll be available next week, but it's pleasing to have him back this week, training hard for us. And we might strengthen up a little bit, especially with someone like Howie available.
Did Hill join the group yet?
No, he did come over.
Because there's a story going around that he flew to Adelaide.
Yeah, there was no expectation on that. No.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Jeremy Howard.